After 3 weekends away, UMass Boston men's hockey finally makes their return to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink, and they'll be here for a while. 8 straight home games for the Beacons as they look to get back into a little bit of a positive trajectory after a tough 3-game losing streak to start their most recent 4-game road trip. My name is Seth Dorensky, joined by Matt Meisenbacher. And Matt, we knew this team had a ton of talent and had a lot of question marks, and through the first 10 games, we've seen the talent, we've seen the offense. We haven't seen the consistency that head coach Peter Belisle and his staff want to see out of this group if they want to get back into the NCAA tournament like they did in 2015-16 and 2018-19.
No, without a doubt. And we should let people know, they're probably wondering, tuning in here 15 minutes after 4 o'clock. We had a little bit of a scheduling issue with the refs, so you haven't missed any action here. You're still fine. But, yeah, to your point, taking a look at their last 6 games, right? So we've got 3 wins against New England College, Southern Maine, and Babson, right? All solid wins, outscored their opponents by, I guess Babson was only 1 goal, but by a decent margin, right? Next 3 games, lost 4-8, 2-5, 2-6. And those are against top high-level talent, right? So Hobart, Elmira, and SUNY Geneseo. This is the type of game where you can really start to prepare yourself for the second half, right? You've got Anna Maria and then Plymouth State College. We don't want to get too far ahead, obviously, Anna Maria tonight, but these are teams you got to beat. If you're going to be a national program and a team that has the aspirations that this team, I'm sure, do in my conversations with Coach Belisle, you have to win games here like this one tonight.
Yeah, and to be fair to the Beacons, it's not as if they weren't in any of those 3 games that they lost by multiple goals. It was they got off to hot starts and struggled, especially in the second period. Outscored in the second period of those 3 losses, all the nationally ranked programs, 9-0. And in the third period, it wasn't that much closer. So the Beacons have been a hot starting team. They did the same thing to Amherst College this past Saturday up at the Utica Thanksgiving Holiday Showcase. Went up 2-0, but they got 2 goals in the second, only gave up 1 in the third to get back into the win column. Today they play an Anna Maria College program, which you're not that familiar with. Well, most people aren't. Just in their 4th season as an independent program, 30 players on the team, 15 of them foreigners. They've got 10 Canadians on the roster. We know they're going to be big. We know they're going to be strong. It's going to be a very interesting matchup for a Beacons team that always has a ton of offensive firepower, but just like they did in 2019-20, starting out the season a little bit shakier than they would like defensively. We've seen the Beacons go back and forth. Today it'll be sophomore Connor McNanama who gets the start after making a career-high 27 saves on 28 shots his last time out to pick up that first win.
Yeah, an Anna Maria team where you just don't have a ton of notes on, right? And for most of the opponents that the Beacons play year in and year out, you've got a ton of notes dating back years, right, of tendencies and systems that they run. This is going to be a game where you have to kind of forfeit that and rely exclusively on what you do well, right? And especially in the first period, I would say even into the second period, not really pay too much attention to what they're doing, more about what we're doing, because you just don't know what you don't know. Taking a look at the goaltending, the thing that stands out to me, the save percentages, both under 90. And that's got to be corrected. You've got to have at least one goaltender that's going to be above a 90% save percentage. It's early in the season, a lot of time to recover that. But also, you're looking at about a 3.5 higher, almost a 4 when you combine the 2 goals against average. So goaltending has to be there. And like you mentioned, it's really up for grabs between Best and McNenema.
First ever meeting between the Amcats and the Beacons. Right now we'll take a look at the Beacons' last home game. It was a 4-3 win against the team they're very familiar with, their rivals, Babson College. And welcome back to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink for the Beacons Hockey Fights Cancer Game. My name is Seth Ransky, joined by Matt Meisenbacher. Matt, you see the stats. You talked about that high goals against average, much higher than the Beacons would like. The goals have come, though, and they've come from a lot of different players. This Beacons team, really good on the power play, really good on the PK. On the opposite side, Anna Maria, a lower goals per game, but they've done a better job this season of keeping that goals against average pretty low, thanks to a very strong performance from Julius Huset.
Yeah, not totally surprising that a younger program is going to be more focused defensively, right? You kind of have to. I mean, these other programs just have more recruiting power than you're going to have, and so that kind of results in you having to be stronger defensively. The thing for me that really stands out for the Beacons, what a start to the season for Chris Peters. 15 points in 10 games played. That's a torrid pace, and he'll be playing the first line on the right side tonight. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Peters has already had 6 multi-point games in his first 10. Ethan Nicken, another one of those big returners. He, Jeffrey Skinner, and Alex Duncan, one of the Beacons' true freshmen, tied for the team lead with 5 points and 5 goals and 8 points. Nolan Barrett, one of their freshman defensemen, picked up his first goal and an assist last week against Amherst. For Anna Maria, they've got 10 seniors left from their original class, and the 2 guys to watch, Jack Sitzman, the fourth-line left winger, and Sam Cyr-Ledoux, the senior fourth-line center. I think we'll see a lot more of them than you typically see out of fourth-liners. They're first and second in goals, assists, and points in program history. This year they come in tied for the team lead with 8 total points. Speaking of guys who have had a great season, let's talk about a Beacons freshman who's gotten red hot. 2 goals in his last home game against Babson. Alex Duncan looks like he might be very legit for this Beacons program.
Yeah, you love to see it. I mean, you don't really expect freshmen to, step up and that quickly into a season, right? There's usually kind of a learning process that you need to kind of feel out. But Alex Duncan out of Andover, Mass, a 6'4" freshman, and has really done well. And you can see the stats: 2 goals. 2 goals and assists in both games last weekend. Just a tremendous weekend. Hopefully can carry it over here in the home ice battle tonight.
Really quickly, let's take a look at the Anna Maria starters for this game. Again, the top line typically is not the top line today. Patrick Manning had a shorthanded goal in last night's 3-1 loss to Riviere. Gavin Pro had the assist. Drew Goupil and Samson Mouland are the defensemen. Julius Huset makes his 9th start on the year. We'll give you the Beacon starters who will introduce themselves. We'll be back with the keys to the game after that.
Alex Duncan, freshman forward, Andover, Mass.
Corey Clifton, sophomore forward, Mattawa, New Jersey. Chris Peters, senior forward, Rochester, New York.
Evan Helt, grad student defenseman, Sylvania, Ohio.
Nolan Barrett, freshman defenseman, Wayne, New Jersey.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Seth Orensky joined by Matt Meisenbacher. Matt, here are some of the keys to the game that I threw out there. But realistically, as Anna Maria's top line, we're talking about the fourth line today. These last two are kind of keys for UMass Boston in every single contest this season. And in talking to Peter Belisle for the Southern Maine game and Batson game, their only two prior home games, there was a clear emphasis on playing 60 minutes. When you talk about a 2-year layoff, essentially, how important is it to kind of not only get your body ready for games, but also to get your mind and kind of get your endurance ready where you're able to play those 60 minutes physically and mentally at that same level?
Well, especially on a game like tonight, right? There was no Friday game for these Beacons, right? So they get an extra day of rest, a little bit of a skate, I'm sure, on Friday. One game this weekend. And so there's no excuses. You should be very well rested, very healthy coming into this game. No soreness to deal with. So really, full 60 minutes tonight. No excuses should be a prerequisite for a win.
You see UMass Boston not wearing their normal jerseys. In fact, there's a little bit of purple in their jerseys. It's the Beacons Hockey Fights Cancer game, led by the initiative of Jake Atkins and Andy Walker, the two guys who like to call themselves the Men in Blades. Those guys are not on the same line today, but they are getting the start out alongside Evan Helt, the Beacons grad student captain, Nolan Barrett, and the third guy on the Beacons line looks to be Devin Moran. So it'll be two members of the fourth line and Walker, who is the second line center out there. As it was Walker and Atkins who pushed for the Beacons to have a Hockey Fights Cancer game as they try to raise more money. In fact, it's Atkins who designed these very cool looking blue and purple jerseys with the Fighting Beacon logo on the front. I don't know the last time I saw a Beacons jersey that had the Fighting Beacon logo. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, Seth, I love it. I was getting some heat from the alumni. I guess the verdict is still out on whether it's they're a fan favorite, but for me, I think it's pretty creative.
Beacons with the puck in the zone. Anna Marie in their more traditional road jerseys. The black jersey with the red numbers and gray trim as UMass Boston wins it behind the net all the way out top. Slowed down there by DeLuzio, whose shot is knocked down by Pro. Able to clear the zone for Manning, who scored last night. Manning's the center, and Tucker has it poked away there by DeLuzio, who had his shot blocked on the opposite end. Tape-to-tape passing. Peters out there with Duncan and Corey Clifton, the Quinnipiac transfer, the top line for UMass Boston today. Petrozella back in the lineup, has his shot deflected up, looked like by a Beacon, and it'll stay in the zone.
Yeah, it should. I think an AMCAT stick got it after the Beacon stick, but a couple times now, defense, both defensemen, it's two shifts in a row there, had a chance to get those pucks to the net. Both shots got blocked. Would love to see those. Even if you can miss the net there, Seth, you really just don't want to get those blocked, hardly ever. So even if you can't get it on net, maybe try to miss the net, have it come out the backside. You just want to avoid having those shots get blocked too often.
Got an offside on the Beacons as they couldn't quite keep it in. Both second lines out there. Guillaume Columbi center, Sam Gaudreau and Colby Walter for Anna Maria. For the Beacons, it's Skinner, Walker, and Nicken, one of their higher-powered scoring lines. Walker able to win that one over towards Nicken, who gets drilled into the boards. And the Beacons will push the puck to the opposite side. Just about 2 minutes in to the near side, just out of the reach there of Mike Padgett. Rather, that was Gaudreau, 10, not 11. Beacons control here with Nicken. Nicken across the center ice line into the zone where he's rubbed off the puck. Petrozella back in the lineup today after missing his first game of the season last Saturday against Amherst, a 4-1 victory. Gaudreau able to clear the zone, but not much further, as it's Barrett who collects in the Beacon zone. UMass Boston just went through a long road trip that saw them not just play 4 games in a row, as that puck nearly got loose in the slot and ended up on the stick of a Beacon. Good clearance by the Anna Maria defense. Beacons played 4 straight road games, 3 of them against nationally ranked opponents, and went 1-3. And they've played all but 2 of their first 10 games away from home. Tape-to-tape pass just eludes an AMCAT forward there, and Anna Maria will push the puck back into their own zone. Anna Maria College in Paxton, Massachusetts, just outside Worcester, about an hour away from UMass Boston's campus. It's Barrett skating all the way into the AMCAT zone. Now he's in a foot race here with Cam Toby. Puck pitched up to Sitzman. First time we've seen this 4th line for Anna Maria, which has most of the scoring power. Byrne pushes it across, looking for Cyr Ledoux, the all-time leader in assists in program history. He has his pass intercepted. Puck pushed ahead, hits the speedster. Bankowskis all the way in on net. Behind the net, wraparound effort knocked away. And the second chance effort from Carabelli whistles wide. This 3rd line has some really electrifying youngsters. Gino Carabelli, Coley Bankowskis, and Owen Bordeaux. Anna Maria player loses his stick behind the net. DeLucio pushes it towards net. A couple big hits right next to the Anna Maria bench, and it'll be dumped in just wide of McNanama.
Pretty good pace here, Seth, so far. I mean, only 4 minutes in, but we've had both teams up and down the ice so far.
Yeah, Beacon's had a rare week between games, and just the one game this weekend. They do get back in action on Tuesday, as Pro has his shot tipped away just as he was about to get a look on McNanama. We go the other way with it. It's Adkins, who was the designer of these jerseys. I'm personally a fan.
Makes 2 of us.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the 2 people talking about them like it, who cares? Petrozella's shot goes wide. I guess you could tweet at us, but people rarely do.
Yo, come on. It's the old, I mean, this is the OGs, people who tune in. I mean, me and you go, those are the off the post there.
Yeah, good look from Ryan Bogan, who is the Beacon's 3rd line left defenseman after being the extra skater last weekend. That'll come all the way down. The Beacon's asking for, and they will get the icing. Just about 5 minutes in, still scoreless. The Beacons have started to get a little bit more pressure on Julius Husset, the senior out of Oakdale, Minnesota. Even the players that are from the States on this team are not necessarily local.
I had to look. I didn't know. Is he from Quebec or just what country? There's so many different ones to choose from.
Just 4 players on the roster from the state of Massachusetts. Now, Anna Maria is a private school, but still impressive. And when you talk about 15 internationals, it's not just Canada. They do have 10 Canadians, but they've got players from Finland, Sweden, Germany. There's a good look. Husek couldn't hold on to the rebound and holds on to the second effort, but pair of good looks that time from what looked like Barrett and maybe Clifton.
Yeah, and that's one, as a goaltender, you want to have, right? Shot from that distance, hits you in the chest there. You definitely don't want to drop that out in front there. He's able to corral the rebound, but something to take note of if you're on the Beacon bench, right? If you see that and you're forward, you're saying, okay, let's test that again. Do we have some rebound issues with this guy? Because, again, not a ton of scouting.
Long lofted pass somehow avoids all the rafters, and they say play on. Helt absorbs a big hit. It's not often that Evan Helt takes the worst of a hit. The Beacon's grad student defenseman out of Sylvania. In tight, it's Duncan, and he's denied. Tries to put it off the back of the goalie. Second effort there. This Beacon's top line of Duncan, Clifton, and Peters putting some good pressure in this shift. Anna Maria trying to finally get it out of the zone. It's Gaudreau. His pass is knocked away. It will get out. Finds Walter, who absorbs a hit from Krupinski. Peters dispossessed. The Beacons trying to get the puck out of their own zone as they make a change. Behind the net, it's Gaudreau, pinned there by Krupinski, the 6'3" defenseman out of Dallas, Texas. He's out there with DeLucio, and the Beacons will put it out to center ice where Skinner can't quite make the catch. 13:42 to go in a scoreless first period. Here's a rare chance for Anna Maria, but Gaudreau will just flip it in and immediately head to the bench in the midst of a line change. DeLucio finds the skate there of Walker, who couldn't quite hold on. And Krupinski will flip it in behind the net after a big hit right below us.
Seems like it's going to be a physical night, Seth.
Yeah.
So far this first period, we've seen some big hits.
I don't think Anna Maria is going to back down for any kind of challenge. Up top, shot from distance and right into the breadbasket there. Have to look from Davis Browning.
Yeah, nice little shot there from Browning. Just a quick wrister there, and I think he saw Walker coming off the wall, right, low, and maybe if you can get a rebound, you know, he's all alone there. But a good, we checked the rebound control there, held that one on nicely, so something to continue to keep a beat on. But just a nice little play there by Browning, trying to create something off of really a nothing play.
Bankowskis with the offensive zone face-off win. Browning pushes it down low, able to find Carabelli, who scored his first 2 collegiate goals in the Beacon's home opener against Southern Maine back on the 12th of November. Good pressure here from Carabelli. Gets some help from Bankowskis, but Cyr-Ledoux gets out of the double team. Sam Cyr-Ledoux is certainly one of the guys to watch on this Anna Maria team. Pass to the center. Quick shot, but whistles well wide. Good look there for UMass Boston off the stick of Owen Bordeaux. Petrozella brings it into the zone. Stops, slows, pass just out of the reach of Bankowskis, and Anna Maria will clear it out to center ice.
It's a good passing so far by the Beacons here. They seem to be connecting on their zone entry. It's just struggling a little bit once they get into the zone on creating from there.
Third line stays out there. Carabelli getting help from Bordeaux. 2 players there for Anna Maria. They skate away with it. Justin Taylor on the puck. Taylor pushes it only as far as the blue line. To the near side, it's Tucker losing the foot race with Barrett. Barrett coming off a game in which he scored his first collegiate goal and added an assist in the win over the Mammoths of Amherst College. Behind the net, Adkins tries to dig it out, gets it right back. Adkins looking for a pass all the way through. Matt, we both saw the look, but just unable to connect there with Patrick McCoy.
Yeah, tried to zip it, you know, and didn't have much of a window, just tried to beam one in there and was off just a little bit, ended up going down the other end of the ice.
Fourth line stays out there. McCoy will dump it in, giving chase. It's the combination of Moran and Adkins. And again, he can get it down low, unable to connect on some passes. On the other side, Anna Maria hasn't really been able to do anything. I think McNanama, made a save in the first shift or two, but hasn't been challenged since, as we're near the midway point of this first period.
You're exactly right, Seth, and just not much from Anna Maria. Like you mentioned, a couple shifts, but the Beacons have possessed so much, and it's been so many shifts after. They've stacked so many shifts. Anna Maria hasn't had a chance to possess, really.
If you're David McCauley in this Anna Maria coaching staff, the positive is you haven't given up that many high grade A chances.
Certainly. And that's to be expected, right? Road game, first period against the Beacon team that, you know, we know going in might outmatch us on paper and didn't play the night before, so you knew the first period was going to be a challenge.
Nice job by Clifton getting underneath the defenseman, leading the charge. Dishes it off to the far side. Hard shot from Duncan and held on to by Husick.
Yeah, and no secondary chances really. With all this, the amount of time the Beacons have possessed, the offense they've created, it's really a lot of, you know, one and done type opportunities, shots from distance. They really haven't had anything that's been too testing of this goaltender here so far.
Second line comes out, another offensive draw win. The Beacons have done a decent job on them. They just haven't been able to maybe fully execute a play. As it's Nicken on the far boards, looking for options, double teamed, has 2 Beacons coming over to help out, and it's eventually tipped just out into the neutral zone. Nicken will flip it back, just out of the reach of a player. The Beacons come up with it. It's Skinner. Skinner has it poke-checked away there in the circle, all the way out, and Petrozella unable to hold the line. Good job by Bogan coming over to help him. Pageant has to wait to touch up. His shot deflected wide off of Petrozella, and we've reached the midway point of the first period. Still scoreless. Petrozella and goes right out at center ice as Nicken was met by 2 Anna Maria players, and we'll get a face-off right at the center of the ice, just about 10 minutes after we did it the last time. And that kind of a cagey first 10 minutes, a little bit physical. The Beacons certainly had the edge, but haven't been able to find the edge on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you can tell the AmCats belong. I mean, this is not a team that, you know, is maybe a stretch to be playing at this level of collegiate hockey. I mean, so far here in this first period, they're right. I mean, they've done a lot of defending, but they're right here with the Beacons. And this has been a pretty even game.
Anna Maria comes into this one at 3-5-2 for the program record, 20-35, but they did have a winning season back in 2019-20, the year before the pandemic. Went 1-6 last season, in a season which they had 9 games canceled or postponed. Good job by Helt stepping up to keep it in, but he's unable to track it down. So we'll end up back in the Beacon zone. Anna Maria certainly seems content to focus on their defense to start this one. Duncan leaves it off for the trailer, Barrett. Barrett, who's a similar player to Nick Albano. Here's Duncan unable to hold on to it. Shot from Krupinski, breaks his stick. He'll have to head off. Barrett looking for options so the Beacons play down a player. It's Corey Clifton skating through the center of the ice. Right back for Barrett, centers it, and Peters couldn't get a good touch on that one to redirect it towards net. Peters still with it, the Beacons' leading scorer. 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points in 10 games. Near side, DeLucio will pinch forward as the Beacons able to make a change in the midst of all this. Duncan holding off the defenseman Taylor. Behind the net, a chance to clear for Samson Mouland, but he's unable to do so. Still with it, it's Petrozella. The Beacons have been able to shuffle their defenseman here as Petrozella's taken down. Another change coming, and the puck is still in the zone. Chance for Manning in the top line to finally get it out. They'll do so. And the pass forward there, looking for Gavin Pro, is intercepted.
Yeah, great. Probably the best shift of the period for the Beacons there. I mean, they were all over the Amcats in their own zone. Couldn't really generate much off of it, but those are the types of shifts you can build off of.
Yeah, certainly, and it also just puts so much pressure on Anna Maria defensively. Maybe you can wear those legs that already have a little bit of wear and tear on them after they went up to New Hampshire yesterday and lost to Riviera University in a close 3-1 game. 2 of the 4 D3 independent schools. As Skinner looks to put the pressure here on the defenseman. Puck ends up getting broken up off the stick of Fowler. And Anna Maria will clear the zone once again. It really feels like the majority of this game is happening between the Beacons blue line and the goal line behind of Huset. Connor McNanama might as well be taking a nap in his goal as he hasn't had to touch the puck in at least 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, and Anna Maria's just shot chance here. Just giving up the neutral zone too easy. And you can see anytime the Beacons, when Anna Maria does clear the zone, the Beacons are able to regroup so quickly, and they're breaking through the neutral zone with one pass, a few strides, and then it's right back into the defensive zone. It's just too easy of a neutral zone right now for Anna Maria.
Declan Willens gets the puck into the zone, and his line mates will give chase, but another job easily done there by Bankowskis, who will send a shot. Glove save from Huset, and he'll hang on.
What's happening, Amcats are just sending older forwards in, trying to create turnovers and generate offense that way. What that leaves is the entire neutral zone, and then your D, which are clearly just sitting back, right? We're going to let you have everything and then just play defense. And it's a pretty simple system. As long as the Beacons don't get frustrated, you know, it's like a football game where you're checked down, right? You get the first down, but you want that big play. As long as the Beacons don't get frustrated, I mean, they're going to continue to possess this puck. It's a very simple scheme that Anna Maria is running here.
Puck comes all the way down the length of the ice. It's Sitzman who was nearly there first. Good job poking that away. 4th line out there for Anna Maria, which is their best line. Hiding down there on line 4 on the line chart today for David McCauley. Matt, you mentioned it could be a disciplinary thing. Well, Sam Ledoux did take a 10-minute game misconduct last night at the buzzer, so
yeah,
it might be a disciplinary thing, but I'm sure we're going to see lots of that trio of Sitzman, Ledoux, and Byrne.
If I had to guess, you know, 4th line, your top players, and it touched. Anytime you see that, right, 4th line, I would expect it could be a game thing. If I'm right, it could be a game thing, it could be a period thing, but anytime your top forwards are on your 4th line, that's usually a disciplinary issue.
Faceoff will come just outside of the zone after that puck caught a little bit of the red rafters above the ice. Top line out there for Anna Maria, 4th line for the Beacons. Manning able to keep the puck in the zone, but it'll be retrieved by Bogan. Bogan out to the far side for Moran, and he'll try to track this one down, working against Fowler. Behind the net's McCoy looking for Adkins, who has his shot knocked down, able to Still the puck in the low slot. Back out for Petrozella. Across for Bogan. Bogan shot all the way through. Backhand chance for Moran. Puck still loose. Adkins gets a stick on it. And Anna Maria will clear as far as the boards, but really good looks from the fourth line. Petrozella again. Shot gets knocked down off his own player and tipped wide as the Beacons had two players looking to get in there for a potential rebound.
Yeah, another great shift by the Beacons. They were right on the doorstep, just couldn't bang it home.
And that is a line that hasn't seen a ton of action this year. Moran and McCoy playing just their fourth game all season. Adkins does have 2 goals this year. He has 5 goals for his career. That's the career accumulated total of that fourth line. Easily could have added one there from that trio who all had looks against Julius Huset in this Anna Maria defense.
Yeah, coaches take note of that. Your fourth line with some of the best offense you've had in the period, they'll be seeing more minutes tonight.
Here comes Clifton off the loose puck in the neutral zone. Clifton pulls back out top. Helt keeps it in. Helt sends a shot that gets all the way through, and it'll be pushed around to the near boards, kept in by Peters, who was backing up one of his defensemen. Peters leads it for Clifton. Shot and score! Corey Clifton, his second collegiate tally, and the Beacons break the deadlock 15 minutes and 51 seconds in.
Well, really nice play there by the Beacons all around. The puck comes around the boards, and just a nice keep-in by Petrozella on the D, right? And that's where the play started. Peters was able to pick it up from there and made really 2 nice plays, one of which he was lucky on. The first one, he beats the player. Second one, looked like it was going to get intercepted. He gained control again, then goes right to the net, right to the mid lane, and was able to give a nice little backhand pass to Clifton, and then Clifton ices it, just a very quick release. Didn't take too much time to really pull it back and try to rip it. Was able to just snap that thing off. Glove side, didn't give the goaltender a chance to reset himself, and just a really nice play there for a Beacons 1-0 lead.
And Matt, you played with both of Corey's older brothers, a
Tim
New
and
Jersey
Connor.
guy yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Corey out of Matawan, New Jersey. Great to see Corey Clifton get a goal. He scored against NEC early in November. His second goal with the Beacons after being on the roster last year at D1 Quinnipiac. Didn't get in the game. He's the guy who the Beacons are hoping can do some big things. His older brother's also in the city of Boston. Connor plays for the Boston Bruins. Certainly from a very talented hockey family.
Oh, they're huge in New Jersey. Everybody knows the Cliftons. Their father, Tim Sr., is just a tremendous guy. He worked with me and both my brothers and coming up through the ranks in New Jersey. And anybody that's around, especially North Jersey, but South Jersey too, anybody that's around the Jersey hockey circles knows the name Clifton.
There's a shot and handled this time by Huset. The Beacons take a 1-0 edge. In a game like this, where Anna Maria clearly has a defensive game plan, huge to get that first goal, because even if Anna Maria doesn't change the game plan, some point they're going to have to, and if you get a second, then they really have to open up.
Yeah, and it alleviates that frustration we talked about, right? When you're possessing the puck this much time in the offensive zone, you don't have anything to show for it. You start to try to get too creative, and you get too pretty. To get one there now, you know the game plan is working. It validates everything you're doing, and so it makes you double down even harder in terms of possession and keeping that puck in the offensive zone.
Matt, you always love to talk about the shift after. The Beacons didn't get a goal from that fourth line, but they score on the shift after.
Yep.
And it feels like at some point it's because of the sustained pressure where Anna Maria just getting a little bit tired late in this period.
100%. It's a great point here. We got a little bit of an injury, though. Somebody's down. I don't get the name.
That's Davis
there.
Browning.
Is that Browning? Yeah, a little bit of a knee-to-knee contact. He's looks like skating off somewhat on his own, and we're going to get a power play here for the Beacons as probably a tripping call there. Hopefully he's not getting checked out. Browning's not getting checked out by the training staff just yet, so could just be a stinger, but nevertheless a power play for the Beacons here.
First power play of the game for UMass Boston, who operates at a pretty good clip. The Beacons will go with the combination of Nicken, Barrett, Peters, Duncan, and Clifton. And we've got
It's in his pants. There it is.
It'll be Patrick Manning, the top line left winger, who goes to the box for 2 minutes for tripping. And the Beacons will look to double this advantage, as does look like Browning is being attended to by Beacons head athletic trainer Ed Perkins. Barrett up top, who again fills that Nick Albano role as that shot gets deflected on its way in. Anna Maria player loses his stick, and the Beacons are basically playing 5-on-3.5.
Yeah, they got to get it out of there, though. It's in a bad spot.
Also looks like it's a bit broken.
For sure.
As that will come down the length of the ice, and they'll get the stick off and a new 4 out there. Albano, by the way, is on loan with the Springfield Thunderbirds, so currently playing in the AHL at this point. Nicken in tight. Nicken to the slot. Backhand shot just wide. The Beacons will keep it alive, but pass from Clifton comes all the way out.
Just missed. Yeah, I think it rolled on him at the last second there, Seth.
Really good patience from Nicken there. Long stretch pass finds Duncan in behind the defense. He'll swerve, pull it out, wait for reinforcements. Peters in the top group still out there after a minute gone on the power play. Nicken had that great look. Clifton is backside and makes the catch. His pass just out of the reach of Peters, and again, comes all the way out. I don't think Anna Maria's had more than one clearance, but the puck has come out 3 times on this power play because of Beacon's passes or shots.
Yeah, Clifton just missed on that cross-ice pass there. I like where his head's at. That lane is there. He hasn't connected on it yet.
Nicken connects with his own player. That's Skinner on from the second unit as they slowly get the second unit out there with minute 30 gone by on the power play, minute 30 to go in the period. Clifton looking for another one, and the rebound bounces out, and Anna Maria clears with 20 to go on the man advantage.
Clifton all over the puck tonight. Another quick release there. Good save by Huset, though. Was able to get that puck out of harm's way, but Beacon still a little bit of this power play left. I thought that was a good power play there. Obviously not going to score on it, but I thought generated enough opportunities to count that as a win.
Going down the opposite way, it's Boudreau leaving it off, and unable to handle that was Walker. Good job by Skinner to step in front and keep the puck in the zone. Back to 5-on-5 with a minute to go in the period. Anna Maria is certainly not out of danger yet as Skinner tries to track it down. One of the Beacon's leading goal scorers with 5 this season. To the far side, it's Pro battling there with DeLucio. Krapinski comes over and almost pushes that one out of the playing surface. 35 seconds to go as Krapinski still tangled up there with Byrne. Coming the other way, it's DeLucio. Gains the zone, immediately stripped of the puck by Cyr Ledoux. 25. Does Anna Maria have anything left in them offensively here in the period? In which it's been a period they haven't done much offensively. It's Sitzman, has Cyr Ledoux backside, and McNanama, a really good stop on the all-time leading goal scorer in AMCAT's history.
I don't know. There's some room there. What do you think, Seth? I think he had some room. As the way McNanama reacted, he kind of looked up. It's like, oh, I got it? Oh, all right, nice. Good stop for me. Didn't look like he got that cleanly, though. There was some room on that shoulder side. I think Cyr Ledoux just kind of missed that where he wanted to put that puck. But nevertheless, good save. And especially given, second shot of the period?
Yeah, I was about to say, when you're lulled to sleep that much,
right.
You wouldn't blame him if he necessarily gave that one up.
No, not at all. That's a small portion of the net, but that's always tough as a goaltender. People have probably heard me say this before. When you're not seeing action, people think, oh, nice, night off. No, it's terrible as a goaltender. You're like, it's like an itch you can't scratch. You're like, I got to get involved in this game somehow.
So 20 minutes down, UMass Boston leads it 1-0 in a period where I think it would have been disappointing if the Beacons didn't get a goal, but you feel pretty good getting that first one. And honestly, the way the Beacons were able to play in that last 5 to 10 minutes, it felt like they were connecting with some more passes, creating some better chances than we saw in the first 10 where it was good possession but not much to show for it.
Yeah, I really think that goal was huge for a lot of reasons. I mean, the obvious point, they have the lead going in after the first period, but I think I agree with you. I think the amount of time they were possessing the offensive zone to not, to end this period, say 0-0, would have really been a frustrating feeling, right? Going in, wow, we really did everything right there and we have nothing to show for it. They get one. I thought the power play looked good. They had a few opportunities there. They weren't able to capitalize on it, but the systems you could see were working. I think it was a solid period for the Beacons, and quite frankly, I think it was a solid period for Anna Maria too. I think they've got to tighten up the neutral zone. They're giving away the neutral zone way too easy. The Beacons is just absolutely no resistance whatsoever breaking out of their own zone. But defensively, they've done well. They've allowed their goaltender to see it. Most of that period was a lot of one-and-done shots, a lot of one-and-done opportunities. The rebounds that were there have been cleared. So Anna Maria has to tighten it up a little bit, but I don't think that was necessarily a bad period. I thought we saw some pretty even hockey there.
UMass Boston leads it 1-0 after 1 here in their Hockey Fights Cancer game. If you don't know, the NHL puts on Hockey Fights Cancer games throughout the month of November. Well, the Beacons only had 2 games in November. So the Men in Blades and the Beacons hockey program hosting one here in December. And the 2 guys who were most behind the initiative, Jake Atkins and Andy Walker. If you don't know, the guys who call themselves Men in Blades rollerbladed 870 miles last summer, raising money for the American Cancer Society. They're back at it again this year. And right now we're going to hear from those 2 players as they talk about today's initiative and also kind of why they want to give back to the American Cancer Society.
So we got the idea of Hockey Fights Cancer from the NHL. They do it every year in the month of November. And unfortunately, we couldn't plan to do it fast enough for a home game in November. So we're doing it a couple days after the month.
The inspiration for Hockey Fights Cancer kind of started, we had an event that was upcoming called Back to School Blade-a-thon. And when that got shut down, we really wanted to push for our next event. We knew we wanted to keep the funds going. And this was an idea we've had probably over 2 years now. So when we saw we had a home game, we tried planning for it in November. Couldn't really quite get all the logistics together, but we did by December 4th.
As for the Men in Blades, we had an event called Back to School Blade-a-thon. It was supposed to take place in August and unfortunately got canceled with 3 days before the event. So this is a big bounce back for the Men in Blades.
It was very tough when we heard the news that it was canceled, especially on such short notice. And Jake and I kind of sat down. We were a little dumbfounded on what to do. And I think the inspiration, we knew we needed something, mainly because the funds were there, the support was there. We didn't want to let that die out.
Right now, we have a goal for $10,000. Currently, with the Back to School Blade-a-thon donations, we're sitting at almost $4,000. So I think that the donations are very important, as well as spreading awareness for cancer patients and cancer survivors. With everything going on in the world right now, we don't realize that cancer is still affecting so many people, and just spreading awareness for this game is huge. And my goal is to hopefully do a second annual one next year and then keep it going. In my life, my mom, my aunt, some of my grandparents, and many other close family friends have battled cancer, and it's something that is really hard to see people going through. And putting myself out on the line like we did for our first Men in Blades event, where we rollerbladed almost 1,000 miles, and putting ourselves in the shoes of others where they face hardships every day, is something that I'm very grateful for, the way that I am and how fortunate I've been. So giving back to the community and to those cancer patients means a ton to me.
After UMass Boston, I plan to attend dental school for 4 years. I think that that career field gives me the sense of giving back as well. I would love to continue Men in Blades. I know Jake and I will stay in touch, so any way we can to keep the brand that we created going, I think for a great cause, it would be awesome.
My goal after UMass Boston is hopefully to get into medical school. So far, I've been really interested in oncology as well as sports orthopedics. So I guess wherever the road takes me, I'm determined to do it, and I want to learn every day and reach my full potential.
I think the biggest reflection I have on the journey, or moment, memorable moment, was when Jake and we were going up hill after hill, and just neither of us could go anymore. We kind of laid down in the middle of the road, and immediately our team ran out. They knew we needed help. They kind of picked us up, gave us some ice on our backs, gave us that extra motivation to keep going, and kind of reminded us that what we're going through isn't anything compared to what the cause is for.
From our journey about over a year ago, the thing that sticks out to me most is that Andy and I stayed through it, through the hardest times. We picked each other up, and that sense of brotherhood and support that we had for each other, and that all of our followers and friends had for me and for Andy in that moment in time, really hit home and made me extremely grateful for everything that I have.
I'd say some notoriety for sure. I know a lot of people, especially alumni weekend, or if I'm back in my hometown, the first thing they say when I meet them, they ask about the trip and want to talk about it. It is a good feeling just to know that not only did they hear about it, they had to have known what we were doing it for, which is why we did it, to spread awareness.
UMass Boston leads it 1-0 after one, thanks to Corey Clifton's second collegiate goal coming at 15:51. The assist to Chris Peters. Alex Duncan gets a second assist on that one. Not a huge goal for the Beacon's confidence. I mean, you've been in the locker room enough times with Peter Belisle. even though they played really well, the message might not have been as positive without that goal. I think he's going to be mostly content.
Maybe.
I'm sure the Beacons would have loved to have gotten a power play goal after that to make it 2-0, but a good start for UMass Boston after having a week off.
Yeah, no, and that's, it's twofold, right? So usually these kids are used to playing Friday and Saturday night, and so you're coming into the Saturday game with, a certain sense of momentum, right? And so without the game last night, it kind of ruins your routine. Guys are probably sitting at home thinking, geez, we can't really do anything. We got to kind of like hang around and watch TV because we have a game tomorrow. And so I was worried a little bit about that, maybe I guess you could call it rust coming into that period. Didn't see it. I thought they came out flying. There were some hits early onset there. I thought, okay, we're in for one tonight on both sides. And like you said, that goal I think is going to really keep things even in that locker room because they did have a good period, but that goal really cemented things.
Take a look at the team statistics right now. They really show how lopsided this period felt. The Beacons out shooting Anna Maria 21-3. Julius Husset with 20 saves in that first period. Faceoffs were even, just the one power play, but 21-3 really kind of feels like what we saw. Anna Maria willing to give up chances as long as it wasn't second and third. And it wasn't second and third until that shift from the fourth line that I think kind of turned the momentum.
100%. I was just about to say that. That fourth line came out and kind of reset things and kind of worked, right, to get that puck towards the front of the net. Because before that, there was a lot of perimeter play and a lot of stuff from outside the faceoff circles. Stuff at this level, the goaltender is going to stop every time. And that could be a game plan for the MCATs. They say, hey, we're going to give them this, right? We got to give something here. So we're going to give them the neutral zone. We're going to give them the perimeter and then just bend but not break defensively, allow our goaltender to see it from distance. I think that's a little bit too lopsided, right? 21-3, that's a lot. That's going to be hard to sustain for another two periods. Got to find offense somewhere. But overall in that period, if that was the game for the MCATs, I think they executed on it.
Well, while UMass Boston did not play last night and is not playing conference games this weekend, everybody else is. Let's take a quick look around the rest of the NEHC. One big one, and that's up at Kreitzberg. It's Norwich leading Babson 3-2 in a matchup of two top 10 teams. Southern Maine versus New England College. New England College did not play last night. They are likely the team that's having a little bit of a COVID issue. Hopefully everyone's okay up there. Skidmore leads Elmira College 2-0. Elmira has been nationally ranked, so good result thus far for Skidmore. And Hobart having no problems with Castleton. Hobart right now is considered the class of the conference, at least in the national poll. Really interesting team that Beacons kind of had them on their backs a little bit, up 3-2 after one in the matchup 2 weeks ago, and then all of a sudden Hobart just dominating the second period with 5 straight goals. Be very interesting to see how the Beacons fare against the Statesmen in a couple of weeks when Hobart comes to Boston in January. Right now, we are going to take a look at some highlights from another Beacons team. Let's take a look at the highlights from last Saturday's Black Coaches Classic as the men's basketball team fell to nationally ranked Brandeis 63-54.
She's the keys to my starter and my automatic car. Yeah, she make me wanna go harder and she always lift the bar. Yeah, she keep that spotlight glowing cause she is a superstar. Everybody notice this girl when she step up in the place where they're apart. The way she cranks it up, the way she cranks it up, the way she cranks it
those were the highlights from last Saturday's men's basketball game. Unfortunately, they just fell 76-70 in their Little East Conference opener to Eastern Connecticut State. Senior Charles Mitchell had 33 in the loss. The women's basketball team dropped their opener at Eastern as well. Senior Megan Dixon had 25 and 10. Indoor track and field competing for the first time in 664 days today as they opened their season at Smith College. And the women's hockey team have not been in action since last Sunday's defeat to Bowdoin College in the Codfish Bowl championship game. They're back in action on Tuesday night at 7 when they travel to Connecticut College. Matt, it's my favorite time of the intermission show. Let's see the highlights from that first period. Only the one goal, but tons of chances for UMass Boston.
Yeah, it's going to look like a Beacons video session, right? Initially, a shot there from Anna Maria. You know, I thought first, 5 or so minutes, you know, it was pretty even, and then the Beacons just really possessed. And you're going to see here through these highlights, I mean, a lot of opportunities in this zone, but look where these shots are coming from, folks. I mean, these are from distance. A goaltender at this level, I mean, quite frankly, I could throw on the pads and make these saves. No, I'm not, and that's no exaggeration. From that distance, Seth, you could probably do it too. Now the Beacons start getting in, there's the goal, right? And look where that comes from, right? That's the high circle. Quick release from Clifton, was able to tuck that home on the glove side. And as this period goes on, see now look where the shots are coming from. In tight, you know, a little bit more challenging, not a little bit, a lot more challenging for a goaltender. That's going to be something I think the Beacons are going to want to do in the second period is it's fine to have some perimeter play, but at the end of the day, you've got to find ways to get pucks and bodies to the front of that net. Otherwise, you're just never going to score.
Now, do you think that was a concerted effort by UMass Boston, or do you think that Anna Maria also might have been getting a little bit softer in their defense as that period went along, just in terms of being able to slow down the Beacons and in their ability to get to that net front?
Yeah, twofold. No, it's a great point. Definitely when you spend that much time defending, right, it does wear on you a little bit. But I think that was also a concerted effort, yes, by the Beacons. Coaching staff definitely addressed that. I mean, they know they've got to get to the front of the net if they're going to score. And you could see there as that period went on, more of those pucks got to the front of the net. They were able to generate more offense.
Quick look ahead. The Beacons will close out their first semester games on Tuesday night against Plymouth State at 7. Then the Codfish Bowl the 29th of December against the University of Rhode Island club team. And then the day 2, the championship day, on the 30th, as the Beacons still have 3 more games here in the 2021 calendar year. And then they'll have 4 conference games to open 2022, all here at home, as it's the period of the long change. The Beacons going from right to left in these special 1-game-only hockey fights cancer jerseys. In tight, it's Clifton leaving it in the slot, hoping there would be a teammate there. Duncan a little bit late to get there, as the Beacons raising money for the American Cancer Society today, raffling off some goodies, including Celtics and Bruins tickets, and also doing a toy drive. All of the proceeds and all of the toys going to the American Cancer Society, as Peters has to wait for the puck to reach him. And hey, Matt, big surprise, it's the 4th line for Anna Maria who gets the start here in the second period. I think they're right back up there with the Beacons' top line.
The 4th/1st line?
Yeah, that Sitzman, Cyr Ledoux, and Byrne combo. I think we'll see a lot of them, as this shot from Duncan goes right into the leg of the defenseman, who is in a lot of pain for Anna Maria, slowly hobbling over to the bench. That is Samson Mulan, and on the other side, it's Tucker poking it home, and we're tied at 1.
It's an interesting celebration. I don't know if we got that on camera, but I don't. The ref saw that. That's a penalty. The gesture he made towards the crowd, that's definitely a game. You could get a game for that. Anyway, a shot there from Anna Maria off the side there, and I'll tell you what, I don't think the goaltender saw it. I don't think McDenim saw it. His reaction, he just kind of looked up like, oh, it was on me before I had a chance to react. Didn't think he got a good read on it. Not sure where he lost it, but I just don't think he saw that clean, and we've got a 1-1 hockey game.
Quinn Tucker, it's going to be his second goal of the season. Didn't quite pick up on the assist. As it's Walker in tight, he shoots, and a big save from Huset.
Huge save.
Back and forth action here to start the second period. That goal coming just past the minute mark, as it is going to be an unassisted goal for now. Nicken had an opening at the near post, just missed. He's had a couple of good looks as the Beacons look to get a goal right back. Samson Mulan took that hard shot on the opposite side. I was still trying to get the number on Mulan. And now the other way, Anna Maria getting the goal. It does look like Mulan Moulin stays on the bench as Walker pushes it across in tight, and the shot right into the chest. That's nicking after Skinner took a huge hit. And it certainly seems like the physicality isn't going anywhere in this game.
No, it's for sure. These Amcats will hit you, whether it's on the wall or in the neutral zone. And we saw Browning, now Skinner, a little hurt getting off. And it's going to be a physical night. These Beacons better be willing to pay the price.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where Beacons players have looked up at the referee saying, what are you waiting for? That should have been a penalty. That's how we've been officiated. Is that?
Well, not besides the hitting, but we had
the gesture towards the Beacons lacrosse players who are sitting down there.
I mean, we saw it. That's a penalty. I mean, that one's worse than any of the other ones I saw, but that one went. Hey, I'm always in favor of letting them play, right? As long as it's not egregious, let them play. You know, we don't want it. We're not here to see whistles all night. As long as it's nothing crazy.
Beacon's third line against Anna Maria's second. Bankowskis versus Colum, and now we've got a whistle, and the net is off its moorings, which hasn't happened nearly as much since the Beacons went to a new peg system, I believe it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can call it that.
I mean, it was the Jamie Murray effect. The net was off its moorings for so long.
You still bring that up. That night was crazy when he kept knocking it off. Yeah,
that was a very smart, very good goalie.
Can't prove it, right? Nobody could prove it. They were talking to him all night. All right,
just like you can't prove Deflategate.
Right, exactly.
Two New England guys can make that joke. New England guys would never do it.
I guess so.
As Anna Maria off to a much better start to this second period. The Beacons had really pinned Anna Maria into their zone for much of the first, giving up just 3 total shots, but able to tie it up. Bankowskis looking for options all the way up top. Quick shot that whistles just wide there off the stick of Browning, who had ended the first period off the bench, but gets an early shift here in the second, just 2.5 minutes in. Browning, who was the Beacons' fourth-line left winger last Saturday, guy who is able to fill in a variety of spots, is the extra man and a defenseman today. Bankowskis gives chase. He is just an absolute rocket when he takes off. That will come out to the neutral zone, and the Beacons will have to touch up. Helt skates through a pair. Helt still with it. Helt looking for an option. Takes a shot and an easy glove save for Huset.
Not bad. We don't see that from Evan Helt very often, right? Stick handling through the neutral zone.
Had a play against Manhattanville in the NCAA tournament that I'll never forget. There was that unbelievable assist. I think he set up maybe Peters in that one, but it's certainly few and far between. He's your prototypical stay-at-home, big defenseman, good physicality, and the captain on this year's team.
And just shows you, has the ability, but knows his role in this team, and that's not what he's put in the lineup to do. You got to respect a player like that.
Still looking for that first collegiate goal. Does have, I think, 7 collegiate assists to his name. Puck will cycle all the way through. First player to it there is Moran, who absorbs a big hit. Floated out to center ice, where the Beacons will dump it right back in.
This game's getting a sharper edge to it. I mean, there's some friction on the ice right now. Players in the neutral zone are giving some extra whacks and kind of tugging on each other. This is starting to boil a little bit here.
Anna Maria seems to be doing a better job of denying the Beacons some good zone entry here to start the second. There's some pushing and shoving along the far boards. Anna Maria comes up with the loose puck. This one will get past everybody. Helt racing after it. Could be an icing, and it will be. 16:07 to go. Anna Maria with the early equalizer. And the Beacons will get an offensive zone draw with the top line out there. This is the group that scored the goal. Clifton from Peters and Duncan.
Yeah, this should be a set play, Seth. You can see the center Clifton talking to his wingers and his D there. They've got something set up. Peters looks to be the guy here. They're going to try to get it to. Could fly this over to Petrozel on the weak side, too. They got 2 options. It doesn't matter if you lose the draw.
Yeah, Clifton got a piece of it, unable to fully win it. And Anna Maria comes up with the puck, trying to break it out. Good job of getting a stick in there by Peters to deny. He'll pop it in and Huset grab the short hop and will drop it off for a teammate. Doesn't want to give up another offensive zone draw. Anna Maria tries to break it into the zone. Good poke check from Petrozella. And they'll dump it in but have to touch up. Bogan will take the space given to him, crosses the red line, brings it all the way into the zone. Bogan's shot up into the chest. And Huset holds on this time.
Yeah, pretty good shot there. And, you know, I mentioned in the first period, taking a look at the rebounds, and yeah, I thought Huset had that one early on. It was something to kind of highlight. Since then, I mean, he's been solid. And these pucks are sticking to him like Velcro. I don't see many leaking out for secondary chances. The Beacons are going to have to find a way to take his eyes away or any type of deflection. It's just these shots from distance are just not going to beat him.
Huset is another one of those guys who holds the program record in just about everything career-wise, making his 42nd appearance, 41st start for the Amcats. Was the third goalie as a freshman, but has been the starter ever since. Has played in all but 2 games this year. The Beacons look to set something up after the offensive zone draw. And again, Anna Maria able to at least get it out of the zone. Now they'll look to set it up in the zone with Quinn Tucker. Top line out there for Anna Maria, the group that scored the goal, as Krupinski takes a hard slash and then a bump. And the Beacons will earn their second power play of the game.
Yeah, pretty evident slash there, and pretty easy call for the referee. I mean, he took the stick right out of his hands. I don't know what he's arguing there, pro, but that one was pretty easy. He slashed the stick right out of Krupinski's hand, so that one's going to get called every time.
So the Beacons will go with the top unit. This is the group that was out there for a minute 15, a minute 20 the first time and had some really good looks, just unable to quite connect on some backdoor passes. Clifton, Peters, Nicken, Barrett, and Duncan. The third line plus Barrett and Nicken.
I don't know what's going on here with the line change. The referee had his hand up, and then Anna Maria tried to make a change. So I don't know what the...
So Toby replaces Mouland, one defenseman for another.
But I don't know if they're if that was the original change or if they're sending the player back. I don't know. But either way.
Cyr Ledoux wins the offensive zone draw for the Beacons, and it's cleared all the way out. Sitzman and Cyr Ledoux, the forwards, top 2 scorers, as that one gets through a Beacon. Unfortunately, there was some backup. Peters can't find it. Sitzman for Cyr Ledoux, much better start to the PK for Anna Marie than the last one. They've already killed off 20 seconds before the Beacons can set anything up. And again, well, skittering puck finds its way to Duncan, who wisely will pull up, let the Beacons set up, and Peters can't handle it, bounces the Beacons' way. Nicken up top for Barrett. Barrett for Nicken. Nicken, Peters. All the way up top for Barrett. Barrett, extra pass for Clifton, already has one. His shot deflected. Peters will keep it in. Peters right back for Clifton at the far circle. Clifton's pass gets knocked away by Mouland, but the Beacons keep it alive with Nicken near side. Nicken for Barrett, shot from straight away, it was purposely wide, and Duncan couldn't get a piece as Peters is rubbed off the puck. Minute gone by on the man advantage. Clifton from the far boards looks at his options, leaves it for Barrett, teed up the slap shot, gave it right back, tees it up again. Not much going on at this point. Clifton down low for Peters, has Duncan there. Instead, he roots it home. Chris Peters, what a view.
Folks, I'll tell you what, that's a heck of a play. To get that, to be able to stick handle and get that puck up high enough above the goaltender's glove side, or blocker side rather, that's an incredible goal. What's hands on Peters? We'll have to check this out on replay, but that's some serious stick handle. You can see the Beacons weren't really getting much. They were possessing that puck on the perimeter, but no movement from Anna Maria. They were just staying in the lanes, and it took an individual effort from Peters to be able to stick handle that one upstairs to give the Beacons a 2-1 lead. What a play.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm wrong when I said that it almost felt like not much was going on. I think Anna Maria might have been lulled to sleep by the Beacons' power play there.
Well, a little bit. The Beacons weren't getting any movement, right? And that's what I was about to say. Nice hit there. Wow, Beacons are feeling it right now. But the point I was going to make, Seth, is they were possessing a lot. You know, those passes weren't doing anything. They were just passing for the sake of passing. Anna Maria wasn't moving.
Into the zone, kick save off the shot from Toby, and it'll come all the way out. So the Beacons take a 2-1 advantage. Peters, his 5th goal of the season. Not quite sure who gets the assist. I think Clifton will pick up his first collegiate assist. Not sure if the second will go to Duncan or Barrett, who was passing back and forth with Clifton for 4 or 5 passes there right before Peters came up with the goal. Petrozella, shift after, always so key. Krupinski, who took that big hit Sends a line drive just over the goal. Pass in
That's
front, all the way through.
Oh,
No, they're going to wave it off.
Oh, man.
Carabelli was tangled up with the defenseman, and it looks like someone's stick came loose.
They're bringing this outside. I think they're going to say he was in the crease. I think they're going to say Carabelli was in the crease. Coach Blyle's going to ask about it, but I have to agree with the ref here. I think he was. It was a little in the crease a little too quickly there. That puck's going to come outside the zone for no goal.
The referees for today's game, which is why we started a little bit late. The guys were a little bit late getting here. Actually, I don't have the refs for you today. Rare time they're not on the program. So
you always have the refs. Come on.
I don't think we have them today.
What? I'm shocked, folks. Seth always has the refs listed somewhere. We'll get it. We'll get the refs to it at some point.
So the game stays at 2-1 after what would have been a fluky goal there. Not put on target with all that much pace. Anna Maria tries to break into the zone with Tucker, who's the lone goal scorer for the Amcats. Also, if you're not familiar with Anna Maria and you don't know what an Amcat is, you're not the only one. Matt and I did not know till earlier this week. The Amcats is an acronym for Anna Maria College Athletic Team Sports. So you will not ever see Amcats anywhere else. Pro trying to chase it down with Krupinski, who drew that penalty that led to the power play goal from Peters. And what a goal it was.
Tremendous to be able to stick handle and get that puck. Nice save.
First and second as Pro was in tight and denied there. That one clearly took a piece of the rafters, and we'll get a stoppage.
Good save by McNamara. Hasn't been tested not too often tonight, but that puck was redirected on the way in. He was able to corral that rebound. But going back to the goal set, just to be able to take that puck from below the goal line, right, and to even think to make that play, I think a lot of players there wouldn't even consider that as an option. Kind of transferring it forward and backhand and just try to chip it right over the blocker side, and did it in such a way the goaltender really didn't have time to react. Just a very creative play there from Peters, and he was able to execute on it, had the talent to get it done.
Peters, who, when he left juniors, was the all-time leading scorer in the history of the Eastern Hockey League. Easily the top scorer on the Beacons this season. Now up to 5 goals and 11 assists, 16 points. Has had a point in 8 of the Beacons' first 11. That's a good look from distance. And Alex Duncan closes on a player for Anna Maria, was trying to follow up on that rebound. Certainly a much more even second period. Both teams have scored, and Anna Maria is getting a lot more chances. Here's Peters waiting for options, finds help, backhand, hits the side netting. That would have sent the Beacons bench into an uproar if their grad student captain had found that first collegiate goal. Long stretch pass deflected by Peters, who doesn't wear a letter but is certainly a leader in the Beacons locker room. And Peters will connect another one with the rafters. So already seen 2 of the Beacons this period connect. And we'll see an offensive zone draw for Anna Maria with 10:55 to go.
You know, I wouldn't say it's an unforced error, but 2 now. This is your home rink. I mean, you know there's a low ceiling. These are in-zone draws now. This is a lot of pressure to put on your center. Defensive draw, you've got some momentum here. You know, that's 2 this period that the Beacons have, put the pressure on their centers in the defensive zone really for no reason.
Columby wins the draw against McCoy. Chance in tight, and the puck is loose. McCoy got a piece of it, but unable to clear the zone. Shot from distance, knocked down 4 Beacons in the way. And now they'll look to go the other way.
And that right there is why you don't want to have unnecessary defensive draws. That puck could have easily gone in.
A lot of traffic in front of McNanama. I'm not sure if you saw either of those shots. The Beacons did a good job of getting in front. Now behind the net, it's Moran trying to tuck it in, and Huset will hold on. 10:24 to go. Back and forth action, but yeah. Sir, we're seeing a much more aggressive Anna Maria team in all facets of this game.
Well, they're in this hockey game, and the shots would probably dictate that they shouldn't be, but here they are, 2-1, and, starting to find their groove a little bit of confidence you're seeing out of this team. The physicality hasn't dissipated. It's a good hockey club.
Another face-off win for Anna Maria. That's been key for them. It was 8-7 Beacons after 1, but I think Anna Maria's won the majority of them here in the second period. And we'll get another offensive zone draw after the icing there. Beacons will keep the third line out there against Anna Maria's third line. Should be Shaw and Carabelli. Carabelli unable to win it. Again, this has been 3 or 4 big zone draws in a row for Anna Maria. Puck is shuffled along to the near side for Bordeaux. Really fancy stick work to keep it alive. Behind the net, it's Carabelli who tracks it down. Carabelli double team, but he's just such a big body for the Beacons, able to keep it in play as Bankowskis gets tangled up with a Amcat. Moulin still trying to find it and just took a spear to the groin area.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not intentional, but the puck looked like it might have been loose in that area, and a Beacon took a stab.
Yeah, he's getting a penalty. That's pretty obvious. I mean, he's going to obviously try to say I was going for the puck there, but, I mean, everybody knows what that's all about. That's a 2-minute minor for sure.
Looks like it's going to be Owen Bordeaux who will head to the box. First power play of the day for Anna Maria. And now the question is, how is Samson Moulin, the sophomore out of Hay River Northern Territories up in...
Way up.
The Hay River is the hub of the North. Played his...
What province is it above? Do you know? Did you look it up?
I did not look it up. There are so many. The sad part is, Matt, and only you would appreciate this in all my notes. The scratches had the most interesting notes. Unfortunately,
based on where they're from.
Based on where they're from.
He's need help off the ice. Hopefully that's a temporary issue there for folks maybe that didn't see it. A stick got him in the one spot you really can't do much about, and he's probably going to need a few minutes to collect himself. But the Beacons will have a 2-minute penalty here that they're going to have to kill off. I know Anna Maria was looking for more there. You know, that's one of those. The puck was, sitting there. I agree. I think it should be a penalty, but to give him more than 2, I think would have been pretty absurd. Either way, Amcats with a power play.
Pro wins the faceoff for Anna Maria. Cyr Ledoux with the puck for the Beacons. It's Helt, Petrozella, Adkins alongside Nicken, who has never really played shorthanded over his 4 years, but now has been a staple of the Beacons' penalty kill, and has a shorthanded goal this season.
And you find ways to make yourself stickier in the lineup, right? Coaches and players will tell you that. Give me a reason where it's hard to either take you out or it's harder to, have somebody else take your spot.
Well, and the Beacons had a gigantic hole in their lineup. I mean, you graduated Nolan Redler, Nick Albano decides to go pro. Zach Bross decides to go to Division I.
Yep.
You graduate Derek Caruso and Jack Riley. It's a lot of guys who played on the PK.
Yep.
And sometimes
a lot of minutes, right? That's a lot of minutes you got to cover now with this group. And a guy like Nicken, asked to fill one of those spots and is able to do. I think, obviously, you mentioned the shorthanded goal has done a good job so far.
Beacons have it come all the way out for Duncan. Duncan has the trailer. Bankowskis, if he wants him, he finds him. Back to Duncan, and it somehow does not get in. I'm not sure if Husa got a piece or if Duncan wasn't able to quite get it off the stick as the net clearly came up off its moorings and right back in.
I think he did, Seth. I think Husa made that save. A nice little play there by the Beacons penalty killers, Duncan and Bankowskis, and pretty creative play. Just weren't able to elevate it there at the end.
That's a poor pass. It's intercepted by Duncan. He tries to rifle it down the length of the ice. Bankowski's putting pressure on Sitzman. Bankowskis has to be a nightmare. He is very much the Derek Caruso type where his speed alone can cause you problems on the power play.
Lightning, fastest skater on the ice most nights, hands down.
Sitzman all the way into the circle, centers it and comes all the way through. Adkins almost kicks it ahead for Nicken. Nicken one-on-one, has to push out wide, will slow it down. Just dangles his way through the defenseman who almost got left behind. Tried to leave it for Bogan and does so. 15 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Bogan around. The Beacons have done a really good job creating some pressure on Anna Maria on this PK. And down to 5, the Beacons should have a successful kill, and they've done so. So Anna Maria unsuccessful on their power play chance here in the second. The Beacons scored on their second look of the day, and it's 2-1 UMass Boston with 7:42 to play.
And they need an offensive shift, Seth. It's been too many minutes now in a row where the Beacons haven't, other than that one play they just had, which was shorthanded, they really haven't had much offense, and the penalty kill has something to do with that. But we really haven't seen what we saw at the end of that first period where they were really forcing the issue on top of the Amcats. It's been a lot of perimeter stuff and some offensive play, but really nothing that's going to test this goaltender.
Beacon's second line against, objectively, the second line for Anna Maria. And we've got an offsides call against the Amcats and another faceoff coming. How much of this second period has not only been a change by Anna Maria in terms of their tactics, certainly more aggressive in the neutral zone, but also just the faceoffs. It feels like the Beacons are starting without possession pretty much every faceoff.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the number one difference maker. Is it was pretty even in that first period, but these are all extra possessions for the Amcats, and they're starting to build off that. They know offensively as that shot gets in on McNamara, they're able to win these draws, and they're going to start to get creative, maybe run some things. Hey, especially, centers pick up on that, and when they know if I see this matchup on the ice, let's run this play, right? I feel confident if it's on the right side, left side, I can win it. And you can start creating offense that way. Faceoffs are one of the forgotten parts of hockey. You watch a hockey game, not many people are taking a look to see how people are doing on draws, but it actually is one of the ways that, a lot of teams end up winning hockey games.
Walker was able to win the draw that time for the Beacons, but they're unable to get the puck out of the zone. Walker now finds Nicken, and the Beacons will look to get some zone time as Nicken pushes it all the way across for Skinner. Skinner battling along the boards, has Walker come over to help him. Up top to Lucio, shot through traffic. Husick can't make the catch, and Nicken pushes it wide. Feels like Nicken has had quite a few chances in this game, just hasn't been able to get a ton on target. So that's a good pass that finds the tape of Byrne to avoid a potential icing. Stretch pass right onto the tape of Peters, who has the game-winning goal thus far in this contest. Still 6:29 to go in the second and a full third period.
It's a bold statement.
There's no way this game doesn't have at least one or two more goals in it, let's be honest.
You're putting your name on that? One or two, the over-under's two?
I would say at minimum.
Wow, all right.
Clifton with some speed into the zone, has one today, fires it wide. Petrozella and Duncan trying to find it back for Clifton. The Beacons' top line has been a part of both goals, although the second was on the power play. Of course, this is the night where McNanama and Huset are going to stand on their head for the next 25 minutes, and I'm going to be totally wrong, as it's Peters trying to cross it back for Bogan, who would have been free all alone on the backside. Bogan's shot deflected wide by Clifton. Corey turns and whistles one behind the net. Bogan overskates it, and a chance for a mini 2-on-2. It's Pro shot, easily handled and held on to there by Connor McNanama.
And a great shift, I thought, there from that top line of the Beacons, right? We had just finished talking about how they needed some time in the offensive zone. They've been defending too much, and that first line comes out, does exactly that. A few shots on goal. They were able to regroup a few times in zone and out of zone and see if the Beacons can build off that now. A defensive zone here, and I guess we can give them a win there, right, on that one?
At least it took a fortuitous bounce as the Beacons fly with Bankowskis. Bankowskis all the way in tight, unable to beat Husick to the near post. It's a play where you'd love to get it to the far post, but didn't really have a guy with him. He just took off with a burst of speed. Around the boards, it's Bordeaux. Bordeaux still battling for it, and he'll have Krupinski to help him out. The Santa Maria team, they're feisty. They're certainly not going down. Lyuski's shot from distance deflects up high and wide of the stick there of Gaudreau.
And they work hard on the board, Seth. You can see anytime there's these board battles, they're never going to lose clean. They might not win them all, but they're definitely not going to lose them clean.
So Lucio ahead for Carabelli. Third line out there. Carabelli to the stick of Bordeaux. Leaves it off for Krupinski, will dump it in. The Beacons are going to get 4 new skaters. Long stretch pass broken up right at center ice. Byrne will leave it off for defensemen, and 4 Anna Maria players in the vicinity. Picking up the loose puck is Moran all the way in tight. Almost kept it with him to the back post, but it just eluded his stick. That would have been a beautiful first collegiate goal.
Just missed it at the end. Like you said, great play. Just missed the tuck home.
Fourth line did a great job in the first period of turning the momentum. Had a great shift right before the first line score. Let's see if they can do it again here late in the second. Cross-ice pass, and a good job keeping it in there by Helt. Behind the net. Shot from looks like McCoy goes right into the chest and held on to by Huset.
Great save. Yeah, it's just a great stop, and he's really found his own. I mean, this has been a busy night for Huset. And there's another play, always tough for a goaltender to go from behind his net to the front of the net and still regroup and make that save. He was able to do it. No rebound there. And another nice save. I mean, he's really held his team in this hockey game right from the get-go.
Huset came in having made at least 24 saves in every game this year, as that shot from distance looked like Browning connected with the outside of the post. Still 3:40 to go as Manning broke it up, but the Beacons quickly retrieved the puck. Ton of time left in this second period. The Beacons gave up a goal in the opening minute 20 and then scored a power play goal about midway through the period to retake a 1-goal lead. Browning for Walker, deflected past Skinner. They'll wave off the icing. And the Beacons look to get some offensive zone pressure. Up top, DeLuzio, near side for Bogan. Bogan through traffic, deflects wide. No chance Huset would have been able to make that save if it had been on target, as it took a huge deflection right in front of us.
Micken missed one there. Had he had his stick on the ice there, that puck would have hit him on the pass. Instead, it comes out of the zone. But a good shift for that line. Let's see if the Beacons can build off it. You see, it's starting to build a little bit here. It hasn't come as quickly as it did in the first period, but late in this second period here, some momentum for the Beacons.
Well, again, Anna Maria played last night on the road, right back at it today. The Beacons have been off since last Saturday. Should be a little bit of difference in terms of how much each team has left in the tank. Near side, Skinner, hard shot right into the face of that Amcat, and another save for Huset.
Yeah, that's one I think Skinner wants back. And to be all alone there by the face-off circle and to rifle it into the chest or shoulder, I should say, of Huset. I know it got a little bit of the mask there. I think with a guy like Skinner who can really fire the puck, I think maybe wanted to pick a different area there. I know he's trying to go over the shoulder, but when you miss from that range, man, that's tough. You don't get too many of those opportunities.
Clifton right off the face-off. Another save for Huset. Head coach Peter Belisle going right back to the top line, second line, top line, trying to take advantage of this pressure from the Beacons and maybe of some tired legs from Anna Maria. Peters won the last face-off clean, working here against Sam Cyr-Ledoux. Wins that one as well, although Cyr-Ledoux nearly got to it. Chance for Anna Maria to get out of the zone, and Cyr-Ledoux will do so. Duncan picks it up as Byrne loses his stick, and then Cyr-Ledoux loses his edge. Peters behind the net for Duncan, who tried to leave it right back for Peters. Not quite on the same page that time. Long stretch pass. Did it catch Ledoux? It did not. And the Beacons will get another offensive zone draw with some tired legs for Anna Maria. And here comes the third line for the Beacons.
Yeah,
they're going to go. Interesting. It's Moran, Adkins, and Bankowskis.
Fourth. Well, sort of, right?
Yeah, Bankowskis had been centering the third.
And then move McCoy over, I think. Yeah, Bankowskis is out there for the draw, and then interesting, a little change there. I mean, they end up losing. Well, they get another chance. They lose it, but they get another chance. So let's see.
I mean, I would say of these third and fourth liners, Moran, Adkins, and Bankowskis have stood out the most to me. So maybe they're using that group as the third group to end this second period.
Bankowskis lost that one clean here. Let's see if he adjusts.
Working against Cyr-Ledoux, and Beacon's able to come up with possession. Health shot from distance. That was fluttering high and just over the net. Mouland, who was the guy who took that stick to an area you don't want to be hit in, is back on the ice, so that's good news for Anna Maria. Adkins trying to get a shot off. Couldn't quite corral it. Moran pushes it behind the net. Adkins right back for Moran. 1:30 to go in this second period. Beacons buzzing, looking for a third goal. Chance in front, deflects off of Cyr-Ledoux and held onto by Huset. That's always a scary feeling if you're a goalie.
Well, some great momentum here for the Beacons. That's two shifts now in a row that have been completely in the offensive zone. And again, curious what Coach Belisle is going to do here, who he's going to put on the ice. I'd be thinking about a timeout if I'm Anna Maria. I know there's only 1:26 here, but I'd at least consider it. They like what they see here. It's going to be a second line, Walker, Skinner, and Nitkin.
Yeah, at least they're able to get the change after the previous icing kept that Cyr-Ledoux line out for a while. trying to hold on is Nicken, unable to do so, and Anna Maria will finally clear the zone. Dump it in on McNanama, and now they're going to get an offensive zone draw. Still a minute 16 to go, and a little bit of a chess match between these two sides as they're both getting some offensive zone draws and a chance at a late goal.
Most certainly, and now the reverse for the Beacons. Anna Maria with a chance. It's always interesting late in a period how these teams play these situations.
Both second lines out there. Columby versus Walker when they eventually do drop the puck. Columby out of St. Julie, Quebec, one of the 10 Canadians on this roster for Anna Maria. The Beacons are Canadian lists. Chance in front all the way past Gaudreau. This one will come all the way back on Husid as we hit the minute mark to go in this second period. Anna Maria struck first. The Beacons got a power play goal to retake the lead, but it's been much more even than the first period in which the Beacons outshot Anna Maria 21-3. Petrozzella looking for Nicken. That puck gets all the way through the wave off icing. And now it's Skinner pressuring the puck. Walker couldn't quite find it. Really good clearance. And now Manning has Tuck on the far side. Manning's shot. Good job getting in front by Helt to break that up. Still 30 seconds to go in the period. Might be enough for two rushes. Skinner just out of the reach of Nicken. Amcats looking for a stretch pass. Helt has help from Barrett behind his own net with 15 to go. Peters looking for Skinner. Knocked down. Skinner will try to dump. He's looking for a change. This should just about do it as the Amcats content to stand behind their own net with the puck. And the Beacons will go into the second intermission leading 2-1. But Matt, a much more even period and honestly a lot to think about heading to the third. Santa Maria has proven to be quite the formidable opponent in the first ever meeting between these two programs.
Yeah, they really have. And, you know, who said it starts with him? I mean, the first period he was as busy as could be. The vast majority of the period was spent in his zone. And then the second period, you know, he made some really key saves there that could have ended up in the back of his net. They didn't look like they were too difficult, but I think he's trusted his angles so well tonight, he's making it look easy to some degree. That was a really even period. You know, I think the thing to add, if I'm Anna Maria, boy, I got to feel good about this, right? 2-1 on the road against a formidable opponent. We've done some things that we've really liked. Offensively, still haven't really done much through two periods here. They have a goal, but other than that, I really don't think they've done a ton offensively, at least consistently. But defensively, they've been good, and that's it. That scheme, that system they're running is working. I mean, the Beacons are just having a very, very tough time getting those greasy, gritty goals in front of the net. But when they're able to do it, you can see they're able to capitalize. So we're in for a good third period. I'm sure there'll be some minor adjustments here on both sides, but so far, a pretty even hockey game.
Right now, let's take a look at another interview with the Men in Blades. This is from last summer, about 2 weeks after Andy Walker and Jake Atkins finished their 870-mile journey all the way from Boston to Mason, Michigan, and hear from these guys about what that journey felt like. It's crazy. All of that happened during the pandemic, and this is just their third home game since getting back to campus.
I think one of the biggest struggles that we weren't really prepared for, I don't know how we could have, was the mental aspect. I noticed around day 5 and 6, both Jake and I were starting to lose it, which was notable in some of the interviews we had. I know we went to the Hope Lodge and neither of us could spit out a sentence. It was pretty bad. I think physically we were really well prepared. And then, yeah, so I think that was the biggest surprise to both of us.
It meant the world to us, just seeing all our teammates, coaching staff, and all of our peers reach out to us and let us know, good luck, keep going. Like, if you ever need anything, I'm here. Just hearing that and feeling that really did carry us throughout the whole trip. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. It's been unbelievable from top to bottom. And I'm so happy that we could make UMass Boston proud.
I think the support really motivated us, that extra mile. Wouldn't let us quit. I know once we left, I think we got to the first stop in Auburn, Mass. And we were both kind of talking about how the first 50 went and what we're kind of up against. And it really felt like all the weight was on our shoulders. Quitting wasn't an option because everyone was behind us.
Yeah, it was tough. It was the hardest 10 days of both of our lives, but we can pull that out and say, hey, I have this new mental strength about me, and I know that I can't quit, and I know that I didn't quit when it was day 5. So, what's going back and down one more time when you're doing suicides on the ice, or even digging deep in the third period? Just that drive that I think the trip both elevated us, and it elevated our perseverance. So I think it's going to be really helpful going on in the future. That moment felt so unbelievable, specifically because we kind of decided to do it in April, and at first it was kind of a joke, and it kind of evolved into something serious, and we knew we had a lot to work for. So all the training and all the stressful planning that went into it was so mentally taxing on us that just making it there alone, at the end, all physical aspects aside, it really made every step of the way worth it. It's everything we worked for all summer and through the quarantine, and to see it finally come out and us doing that, it's just, I can't even put it into words, honestly.
I want to say it was day 8. I don't really know where we were at, but we stopped 25 miles in, and there was this huge lake. We were kind of up on the hills. I think we had a picture of it in the background. Boats were just kind of ripping around, and I think that was the best view we had the whole trip. And like he said, it really sunk in that we did get to see a lot of parts of the country, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd say they're all absolutely selfless individuals. They did everything they could only for us. Whether that meant they missed out on a nap to use the Theragun on us, or one time they quite literally revived me when I passed out on the side of the road, and just them putting us above themselves really made it that much more worth it for us to put the American Cancer Society above us. We're still in recovery mode for sure. It took a while to get our sleep schedule back on track, because we would only sleep 4 to 6 hours at a time during the journey, but we're slowly getting that back. Rest has been a lot easier. It was honestly hard to even sleep through the night because we were in so much pain, and a lot of ice, a lot of massage gun, just doing everything we can. We both lost a significant amount of weight, and we've just been trying to lay around, take it easy, and eat as much food as we can to get that back.
We've both been kind of limping around the last week, but finally today, I think it was the day before yesterday, I finally noticed that I didn't have to limp to avoid pain, and I could go upstairs 1 foot at a time like the rest of the world. And then yesterday I was feeling pretty ballsy, and I thought I'd do a squat, just a body weight squat, and that was not it. I noticed my right hip just kind of tweaked a little bit, but we'll be back in the gym. Hopefully get back on the ice next week, if not later this week. Sports Center, my heart was throbbing. I could barely see straight. I knew it was live because as I was talking like we are now, my dad was watching in the living room, and I could just hear the echo come back to me. So that might have made it worse. But after that, we haven't had any live interviews, so it's been nice. Being reached out to by everyone's been pretty amazing. I know we're both kind of overwhelmed. We have 3 or 4 interviews a day, but on the bright side, it's a good thing to spread awareness.
Our most amazing support group has come from Jack Rodell. He was our latest Men in Blades inductee. His mom reached out to me over Instagram, and he is 6 years old. He's been battling leukemia since he was 4, and he heard about our story, and they reached out to us and absolutely loved what we were doing, and it's so touching to get messages from them. And we did a post about him too, and we're actually going to both go to Denver in the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll get the chance to meet him. And it just brings a smile to my face, and it's just such an amazing feeling knowing we're doing it for him as well, and that he gets to be a part of it.
I think Jack really pushed us that extra mile. Every day we'd normally wake up to an Instagram DM of him, whether it was playing mini sticks or just out in the yard, having a good time, still battling through. It was emotional, but it was also what kept us going. We have a meeting tomorrow with ACS, and our goal is to host fundraisers in the future. Hopefully next year will be the 2nd annual Men in Blades fundraiser, and potentially have one in Boston as well as Michigan where people can come out we haven't set a mileage, but we were thinking 50 to 100 miles, and everyone can rollerblade, drive, bike, whatever it is, just to continue the awareness and not let the brand of Men in Blades die out.
In regard to this fundraiser, we hit 28,000 this morning, and we're planning on keeping it open till the end of August, but if we see that it's still going up every day, we might as well just keep it open, either until we reach 100,000 or until the donations stop coming in. But it's really in our hands right now. It's our decision to make, and I think that we can really get close, if not exceed $100,000.
I think one of the big
That was an interview I did with Jake Adkins and Andy Walker 2 weeks after their 870-mile journey. And Matt, I want to take a quick second to talk about that. As an alumni of this program, as an alumni of UMass Boston, in the midst of the pandemic, what did it kind of mean to have UMass Boston men's hockey making the rounds and to have these guys kind of be putting in the work that they were doing when pretty much the rest of the world had shut down?
I tell people that story, they still don't believe me. Honestly, they think I'm exaggerating. How could anybody rollerblade from Boston to Michigan, right? Just the logistics and the toll it takes on your body. And there's a part of me that still doesn't believe it, right? Like, just waking up every day having to do that and to skate again. And it's really incredible. It's an honor to be somewhat even connected to that type of story. That's something that they'll be able to share forever, and for such a great cause. I mean, really tremendous. You don't see enough of that stuff, I think, in the news, and it's great that we're able to help, support and set it up and to promote it, even though, it happened some time ago. But ultimately, just a tremendous story and unbelievable. I think the part that impresses me most is like the mental commitment to doing it. It's one thing to say and put it together and like, hey, do you think we can do it? But then to actually execute on it day in and day out, tremendous effort from those guys, and what a story.
The Men in Blades, that's the guys who are behind today's Hockey Fights Cancer game. Jake Adkins is actually the guy who designed these jerseys. We're pro. If you're not, that's your opinion.
That's fine.
You're allowed to have one. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. Corey Clifton gave the Beacons the lead. His second goal of his collegiate career, 15:51 of the first. It was quickly answered by Patrick Manning, an unassisted goal at 1:01 of the second. But the Beacons got a power play goal from Chris Peters, his fifth of the year at 6:07. Clifton and Nolan Barrett picking up assists. So Clifton and Peters each have 2-point games. Looking at the stats through 2 periods, it still looks like it's lopsided, but when you look at the first period being 21-3, and now it's 39-13, a much more even second period in terms of the shots, and even the face-offs. I love our crew. It feels like the face-offs should have been much more even than that. Right now we've got the Beacons at 28 out of 43. Maybe it was just that one span where they lost a ton of face-offs, because it felt like Anna Maria was winning almost every face-off at one point.
No, it did, and I would say on top of that, Anna Maria's done a good job of, giving and taking a little bit, right? We're going to give them the perimeter. They were tighter in the neutral zone. I should mention, you touched on that. The neutral zone was better in that second period, but they're giving the Beacons areas that they don't necessarily care about. What they do care about is the front of the net. And their assumption is that anything from outside, our goaltender is going to see it, they're going to stop it, and we're going to allow our goaltender to do that. We're going to not have anybody in front that's going to disrupt his eyesight and clear any rebounds that might be there. And it's worked. And it's a 2-1 hockey game. If you're an AMCAT, you really have to feel confident going into this period. I don't think if you sat down and said, hey, you're going to be down 2-1 going into the third, that they would be too upset with that. I think they played a pretty solid hockey game here.
Taking a look around the rest of Beaconville, quite a few openers today. The track and field team opened their season at Smith College. Women's basketball and men's basketball both opening Little East Conference play. A pair of losses to Eastern Connecticut State, who's typically one of the top teams in men's and women's basketball. Women's hockey, they still have 2 games to go before the break. They'll be at Conn College on Tuesday at 7. Quick look around the rest of the conference. Everybody else playing conference games with the exception of the Beacons' travel partner Johnson & Wales. In the third period, it's Norwich leading Babson 4-3. That's a huge one and could really impact the conference standings down the line. Skidmore College continues to lead Elmira College, although the Golden Eagles got one back, so it's 2-1. And Hobart College having no problems with Castleton, 4-0 in the third. Before we get to the highlights of that second period, let's take a quick look ahead. Beacons have a tricky little one on Tuesday against Plymouth State, a team typically towards the top of the MASCAC and receiving votes. And then the Codfish, the Beacons look for their first Codfish Bowl championship since 2014. They will host the University of Rhode Island club team on the 29th, and then the championship game on the 30th. That huge for the Beacons to not only win this one, but potentially win all four of those to go into break with some confidence. They've played so many road games, 8 of their first 10, and they've played so many nationally ranked teams. When you look at it, they played the number one team in the country twice, in Geneseo and Norwich, both on the road. But they've also played a nationally ranked Curry team, Hobart, Elmira, even NEC was receiving votes when the Beacons played them. This has been a really tough schedule for a team that's had to find its way to come together after almost 2 years away from the ring.
Yeah, and it's a strange time of year. You know, I remember back when you're playing, you know, this time of year, you're trying to wrap up the first half of the season, and obviously you want to win on a high note. And then you get a couple weeks off, you go home, you celebrate Christmas and the holidays, and you come back and you've got hockey right away. You know, 29th and 30th at home in your home tournament that you really haven't won in, 6-7 years now. So just kind of a weird time of year with that amount of time in between games. But as you see some of these matchups here, and none of it too scary on that sheet. These are all winnable games for the boys in blue.
80 seconds to go before the start of the third period. Let's take a look at the highlights, and right away it was an Anna Maria goal.
Yeah, you can see just based on the reaction of McNenema, I don't think he got it. Yeah, you can see it right there. That's the perfect angle. I don't think he got a good read off that blade for whatever reason. But overall, I mean, it was a pretty solid hockey period. You're going to see both teams are going to get their opportunities here. Beacons, again, a lot of perimeter stuff. I mean, these are not challenging saves for a goaltender. These are more practice shots than anything. And the Beacons did have a couple there. That was the goal from Peters. We're not going to get a great angle on that. Here, this might show it. Yeah, you can see it there, folks, a little bit. That backhand up top. Just a very creative play, I thought, more than anything from Peters there. But that's the one that gets called back. And I don't know if we're going to have the corner angle there. I did think he was in the crease a little bit, which is why that call came back. And again, Beacons driving here, getting some opportunities. That was a pretty nice. That was Bankowski's coming in on a little bit of rush. They had their opportunities there, but weren't able to capitalize, and that's why they find themselves here in a 2-1 hockey game.
Yeah, my question to you, Matt, is I'm not sure if Carabelli's in the crease, but he's definitely pushing the defenseman into the goalie. And I feel like that might be a more valid reason. Either way,
yeah,
what a difference this game would be if it was 3-1. But as we head to the third period, the Beacons lead it 2-1 rather. Both teams getting loud on their respective benches. UMass Boston going from left to right, Anna Maria right to left. Beacons, the Men in Blades have already started talking about hoping that this is not the only Hockey Fights Cancer, hoping to have a second one next season. Well, trying to win the first ever Beacons Hockey Fights Cancer game. UMass Boston starts with the top line and top D pair. And also, Matt, we haven't really had a chance to talk about it, but Evan Helt was the extra skater for each of the Beacons' first 5 to 6 games. Now he's starting on the top line. Now, it might be the matchup, but it's great to see it from a guy like Helt, who elected to come back for an extra year, getting more and more time out on the ice as this season has gone along.
Yeah, he's been around the puck tonight. You can see it defensively. He had a couple key blocks there in the second period that I thought the coaching staff noticed, and then he had that one rush offensively that, hey, you have to find certain players that are bringing that extra gear on nights, and Helt is this perfect case tonight. There's a guy that has earned his minutes.
And paired with a guy in Nolan Barrett who's got a ton of offensive skill, kind of a perfect combo. We've got a whistle, and I think the Beacons are going to be
offside.
Called for the delayed offside. Nicken didn't recognize it, and we'll see Beacons thinking this faceoff's coming right outside the zone. Anna Maria claiming it should go down the length of the ice. Instead, it will stay just outside the zone. Tucker versus Walker, and Walker able to successfully win that one. Krupinski content to dump it in and absorb the big body blow from Manning. Walker keeps it in. His pass redirected down below the goal mouth for Moran. Moran's quick shot, and that one up high into the netting after Huset caught it with a shoulder.
Yeah, good stop there from Hussein. You could see just took an extra little push out of the blue paint there as that shot was being released, and it was enough to get that shoulder up and deflect that puck into the netting.
And the Beacons have changed their second line. It's Walker, Nicken, and Moran right now. I think I see Skinner on the bench, so this might be tactical rather than any kind of injury. I will say Devin Moran has been really good tonight. Played 3 of the Beacons' first 4 games, has been out since then. As Nicken sort of big blow. They're not going to give a whistle. McNanama can't hold on to the save, and Nicken will slowly skate off without his stick. Walker has it poked away right in the center ice logo. McNanama makes the save and will hold on as I think that's Nicken's stick that ended up below the goal line.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Nicken's hurt or again, Ed Perkins is going to, the head trainer is going to take a look. I didn't really see what happened there, Seth, but the way he was getting off the ice sluggishly tells me it was a little bit more than just being frustrated. He might be dealing with a little bit of a stinger there.
Now it's the third group out there. It's Bankowskis, Adkins, and Skinner. So this looks like it could be the new third line with players originally from the second, third, and fourth lines. Peter Belisle mixing and matching here as he tries to find a combination that can win him this third period in this hockey game. Heltz avoids the hip check. Adkins, his stretch pass is broken up. Good stick from Bankowskis to nearly strip it away. Going the other way, it's Walter, whose pass for Columby is broken up. Toby from distance, easy save for McNanama. Looking for his second consecutive collegiate victory. Barrett gains the red line and will dump it in as the Beacons will get 2 new skaters. Long stretch pass, finds its way all the way to the far side. It's Pro there, his pass all the way to the near boards where it's collected by Clifton. Working on his first collegiate 2-point game to the far side for Skinner. And it ends up being poked away, and Anna Maria will try to get out of the zone. They do, but just barely. Peters now walks his way into the zone, pushed off the puck by Mouland. And on the far side, it's kept alive by DeLucio. Backhand shovel is collected by Gaudreau. Gaudreau one-on-one through Pinsky, who hits him up high. Legal hit that time.
Yeah, that's good D. Good step there by Krupinski.
And a difficult play for a guy like Krupinski, who's has so much size. Easily could have been a hit to the head. As Duncan tries to chase down the smaller Fowler. Gilbert gains the blue line to the far side, tries to get a shot off. It's deflected away by Petruzzello, who lost his stick in the process. One player down for either side behind the play. Puck gets deflected around. Moran tips it up high. Peters tries to bring it down with him. Instead, it's Sitzman, the senior out of Redondo Beach, California. Sitzman still with it behind the net, finds the trailer. Extra pass for Gupile. And Gupile tries to dump it down low. Peters instead will steal the puck away and dump it out to center ice. The Beacons are going to get 4 new skaters.
Yeah, Beacons looking slow and sluggish. I do not like the start to this third period at all. They're getting outworked and out-hustled in a lot of ways right now. They're making too many soft plays. That needs to be addressed quickly.
Almost 5 minutes gone by. Nicken back out on the ice trying to create something. A good hard shot that Husit fights off. Nicken can be a difference maker. 10-plus goals in each of his first 2 seasons with the Beacons. Already has 5 as we're not even a winter break. Tucker fighting for it. A good job by Barrett to deny him the slot. Puck is loose and a huge hit on Sitzman. Now it's Nicken unable to get past the defender Fowler.
Just another soft play there in the neutral zone. You know, that's not going to win you hockey games, those types of shifts. You got to be harder on those 50-50 pucks.
Adkins into the zone, finds Skinner, and his shot gets deflected up by Toby. Great look, but Toby able to get a stick or a skate in there, and I don't think Husit would have made that save if it was on target.
It would have been close, that's for sure. A good defensive play. Skinner can really let it go, too. You saw earlier in the game he missed on a little bit of I would call it a smaller breakaway. Shot that when he was trying to get over the shoulder, wasn't able to get it there.
Bankowski wins the draw right back for Skinner, and he lifts it high, maybe just a bit wide as well. Back-to-back chances for Jeffrey Skinner, the senior out of Katy, Texas. Pageant into the zone, and he's off. And Manning, his line mate, is very upset with the call. Already has a goal today. 2 on the weekend. And the face-off will come just outside of the zone as Manning still has words with the linesman. Tucker versus Clifton, and it's one over to Peters. DeLucio leaves it up, but no one else is on the same page, and Krupinski had to come a long way to pick up that loose puck. 14:32 to go in the third period. We're scoreless in the period. The Beacons led 1-0 after 1, 2-1 after 2. Duncan out wide. Talented freshman has 5 goals in his last 5 games. Today he's been limited to an assist. Peters from the circle trying to add a second tally to his name. Petrozella below the goal line for Duncan, fighting off Taylor. Duncan is just such a big body. Shot from distance, purposely wide there off the stick of Bogan, but doesn't come to anything as Anna Maria able to gain the zone, and they'll look to get a change.
Well, I'll tell you what, so far the first line and the fourth line are going. I know Coach Blyle's trying to readjust his second and third, but he's got to find another line that's working, because as soon as that first or fourth line come off, it's like a different hockey game. Anna Maria just dominates possession and has all their time in the offensive zone.
I don't even think you can necessarily give numbers to these lines. The first line has stayed the same. Second, third, and fourth are all mixed up at this point. I think the line you're probably referring to is the combination of Adkins, Skinner, and Bankowskis have been good in this. We can call them the fourth line if you want.
We'll put third or fourth, I would think, with that combo of players. But who knows? Yeah, it could be the second line the way things have been jumbled here. And that's just Coach Blyle trying to find a spark. I don't think he likes the way this game is trending. The first period was strong. Second was kind of neutral. And so far in this third period, it's continuing to go Anna Maria's way.
Sear Ledoux has it broken up. 3 Beacons in the vicinity. Nicken leaves it for Walker. Skinner. Walker has to wait. Walker still with it. Looks at Skinner. Barrett tees up a shot, and it's deflected up high by Sitzman.
More block shots for this AMCAT team. And a big hit on the blue line. It was good to see both players getting up. That was a lot of contact.
It was Nicken who absorbed another big hit that led to that little rush. It was a great job. I'm not sure which defenseman dove in front of a potential passing lane there from Walker to deny an easier look there for Skinner. Face-off won by Anna Maria. Can they clear the zone? They are able to just barely do so, as that one ends up off of an AMCAT on the bench, and we'll get a face-off back in the zone. A little bit of a break for the Beacons. And now they're going to reverse it. It will be
that's the right call.
Back in the neutral zone. Sear Ledoux against Bankowskis. This is the line outside of the top line of Duncan, Clifton, and Peters that has done well. Sear Ledoux is going to be wrestled down by Adkins. That should be a penalty, and it will. So now Anna Maria is going to try to reset. They haven't sent Husit to the bench yet.
I don't think he's seen. I don't know if they've seen it. Have they?
I mean, they immediately were yelling at the referees for it.
There he goes. I think because it was in his own zone. In his own zone, he didn't want to risk it. Lazy play. That's a lazy play. You take the free hand and you just put it on the shoulder and try to pull the opposing player down, and Adkins is going to go. It's just, you're not skating. You're trying to take the easy way out. And that's been a little bit of what I've seen here in this third period. This is not a hard-working Beacons team anymore. They're being outworked by Anna Maria. They're fortunate. They've had their chances, but I do not like this team. What they're playing and what they're putting on the ice right now is just not going to win this hockey game.
Second power play of the day for Anna Maria. They're 0 for 1. Fourth total power play. The Beacons are 1 for 2, and that power play goal is the difference. Great job just barely keeping that one in at the blue line. That looks like Taylor. And we'll see an offensive zone draw after McNanama made the save straight on.
These draws become ever so important in this third as the clock continues to wind down. Every possession continues to be more and more important.
Atkins, typically one of the Beacon's top 4 penalty killing forwards. So instead it's Duncan, Carabelli, Petrozella, and Helt. Helt trying to hold off a pair of players, pushes it back towards Petrozella, broken up. It's Walter with it. Walter out there with Columby, Moulin, Taylor, and Byrne. Looks like the second unit for Anna Maria. Some of their top players are currently on the bench. It was Cyr Ledoux who drew the penalty, so he might be a bit winded as Carabelli able to clear the zone. Still a minute 25 to go.
And a really good read there. He knew that that cross-icing pass was more than likely coming that way and was able to read it, get the stick on it, and clear the zone. That's just a smart hockey play, being aware of what's going on the ice.
On the re-entry, it's Krupinski who breaks it up. And again, Anna Maria forced to retreat. They'll get their top unit back out there. Cyr Ledoux, Sitzman, Pro, alongside Pageant and trying to find the fifth player, Manning. Shot from distance, knocked off of Krupinski. Right back to Manning, who scored a goal earlier today and a shorthander last night. He's with the puck right now, far side. Cyr Ledoux couldn't quite handle it. DeLuzio tries to shovel it out, controlled by the Amcats. Still 35 to go on the man advantage, 10:55 to go in regulation. The Beacons looking to hold on against a feisty first-time opponent. Good job by DeLuzio, pinning that one along the boards. Down to 23 seconds. Vankauskis rushing out to try to close out Sitzman. Manning to the middle, and the shot just wide from Pro from the low slot.
Beacons need to clear here.
Vankauskis overskates it. 2 other players come over, and it's kept alive by Sitzman with 8. Sitzman from behind the goal line looking for options, floats it all the way out. Now Vankauskis is on the rush. Vankauskis one-on-one with Husic, shoots, and what a glove save as the man advantage ended. What a turn of events that could have been.
Yeah, I'd love to see him elevate there. I mean, at the end of and that's the guy you want too. Vankauskis is the guy, and you could see no one's going to catch him. And once he saw that puck was loose, yeah, he was gone and just couldn't elevate the puck. He tried to get it, I think, over the pad on the glove side and just didn't get it high enough. Good save by Husic to make that stop and keep this a 2-1 hockey game.
And for Anna Maria, they had 2 guys who just couldn't get any kind of speed to potentially catch Vankauskis a couple of chops. That's got to be a nightmare to see him coming down with the amount of speed he has.
You can just feel it slipping away if you're on that D side of the puck. You just know there's nothing you can really do at that point.
Shot deflected by Walker in on Husic, who, even if his team loses the game, he might be the #1 star with the amount of shots that he has faced.
He's been real solid.
37 saves through the first 2 periods. The Beacons have a player heading off, and that looks like Browning, who was banged up late in the first.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything since then, but it could be that same injury.
Yeah, especially when you make that any contact in the leg area as you play on. If it starts to tighten up on you, there's really not much you can do.
Gaudreau into the zone for Anna Maria, able to find a teammate, and McNanama holds on to the shot from Shaw. And then some extracurriculars afterwards. The Beacon is upended in his own crease. It's a big save for McNanama, who was just trying to hold on for dear life.
Yeah, that's one of those where you're pretty confident you have it if you're a goaltender, but you're not sure. You're waiting for that whistle, and you could see by his reaction, he was able to squeeze those arms to his chest pretty tight. And like I said, he's just waiting for that whistle. You're hoping you look back and the ref's not pointing into your net.
9:43 to go. Offensive zone draw. Nolan Shaw, the junior out of Peabody, Mass, one of just 4 Bay State natives on the roster for Anna Maria, loses the draw. And here comes Chris Peters. Peters one-on-one with the goalie, and a great stick check from Fowler to tip that one away.
Yeah, great play to get back and get right to the front of his net.
Peters' centering feed comes all the way through. McNanama well out of his net, and he'll play it behind the net for Petrozella. That's another guy you really would like in that situation, but Peters was caught just at the last second. Clifton chips it in looking for Duncan, and it's tipped by Husic, but he can't hold on. Duncan from the far side of Beacon goes down. Clifton, 1 look, 2 looks. Peters is there. Petrozella comes over, and there's almost too many cooks in the kitchen that time for the Beacons.
And they could have had a penalty called. It looked like there was some contact in front before the puck got there.
Under 9 minutes to go. Moulin and Peters are tied up right below us, and then Moulin kicks out at Peters, And wide open is Clifton. Clifton looking for the pass, though. Centers it, tipped away by the stick of Huset. And Peters again goes down. A lot of contact in this period that has not been called, and now a penalty against the Beacons. Not sure if it's going to be a hook or a slash, but back-to-back calls against UMass Boston after I thought there were one or two calls right below us that could have gone against Anna Maria.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And Clifton's going to go. He got called. I guess it was one too many. He's getting called on the trip here. And the Beacons are going to have to kill this off. But I agree with you. I thought there was one in the offensive zone I thought the Beacons could have gotten called. Then there were two against the Beaks that I thought were going to get called. And then I guess the fourth one is the one to do it. Clifton on the trip.
So after all that, 2 minutes up on the board against the Beacons. The third penalty of the day against UMass Boston. Thus far, 2 for 2 on the PK. Operated an 85% clip, whereas Anna Maria successful on just 15% of their power plays. Long battle for it along the boards. Eventually, it's won by Anna Maria, top unit out there. Good stick to break up that pass by Krupinski. Out there with DeLuzio, Adkins, and Carabelli. Huset forced to play it around for Toby there. And the puck will come into the zone. Foot race between Krupinski and Pagin. Whiffs on the first attempt, but able to saucer that one out towards the blue line of Anna Maria. Minute 23 to go on the man advantage, and we've got an offside against the Amcats. Still a lot of hockey to be played, but Anna Maria is putting some real pressure on UMass Boston here in the third.
Yeah, and I'd be aggressive if I'm the Beacons. I don't think there's any. The risk is worth the reward. I haven't seen any players out here for Anna Maria that have really stunned me in terms of individual abilities offensively, so I wouldn't have a problem going a little bit more aggressive than usual on this penalty kill.
Bogan, a really good breakup, and he'll just float it down the left of the ice on target on Huset. It's Bogan, Helt, Duncan, and Bankowskis. Remember, Bankowskis had a great shorthanded chance at the end of the last power play that Huset made a save on the breakaway. Bankowskis has the type of speed that you always have to know where he is on the ice, even if you're the team in the power play. Shot from distance, easy save from McNanama, and they'll hold on with 48 to go on the power play.
Let's see what Blyle does here. He doesn't necessarily have to make a full change. And it looks like he's going to send two new forwards.
It's a D. It's going to be okay. DeLuzio and Krupinski.
Likes that matchup a little bit better here. Keeps the forwards on the ice.
Columby and the second unit out there for Anna Maria. Duncan and Bankowskis stay for the Beacons. Big win by Duncan. Kept in the zone nicely by Moulin. It's Byrne. D-to-D pass, just barely keeping that in is Manning, who ends up hitting his own player. Losing an edge is DeLuzio behind the net. Now he's just going to look to keep it there as long as possible. Bankowskis puts the pressure on Moulin, who's able to get the turn. In tight, extra pass. And McNanama able to hold on. That puck was loose for a second or two right in front of him.
That's good goaltending there. You know, being aggressive on the top of your blue paint, there's a tendency to want to cave back if you're the goaltender and keep things in front of you. But what that does is open up spots where the puck can be tucked home. And you could see McNanama was on the top of his paint there, was able to find the puck and get that whistle there. If he's a little bit deeper in his net, he might not have that opportunity.
Beacons bring on 4 new skaters, Walker, Nickin, Petrozella, and Barrett. So Nickin with a chance to clear the zone, and he'll do so. Down to 12 seconds to go.
It's a big kill there for the Beacons.
Yeah, it looks to be their third in a row to start this game. They'd love to not have a fourth. The puck will be dumped in. Big hit on Gilbert right at the blue line, and we're back to 5-on-5 with 6:30 to go in regulation. 1 goal in the first, it was UMass Boston's. 1 either way in the second. We've been scoreless thus far in the third. Barrett tries to push it ahead for Nickin, slows it down. Nickin tried to cross it, had a wide open Skinner there, but it's broken up. Skinner loses an edge, and it's kept in the zone there by Nickin, who, Matt, maybe a little bit too unselfish for your liking?
Yeah, at this stage of the hockey game, you know, just get that puck on net. You just got your penalty killers off the ice there. If you can get that puck on net and get an in-zone draw, you get a true line out there, you know, not what the remnants of the PK there. I just thought a shot on goal was better suited than trying to make that cross-ice pass.
Sierra Ledoux being badgered by Bankowskis just throws it across the line and allow the Beacons to have a 2-on-1 chance. Moran, backside shot, and a big save from Houston on Bankowski.
Huge save. What a stop. This guy's been great. I mean, he has really kept his team in this from front to back. And a beautiful pass there from Kopinski. Was able to find a back door, and that's just a goaltender beating him to the spot. He was able to get there quickly enough. And not only that, but there was a third forward coming in. If there's a rebound, that's another opportunity, but he was able to save the rebound. Really like what I've seen from Husset tonight.
Fourth line, which is actually the top line for Anna Maria, stays out there. Bankowskis' line will stay on. Bankowskis, Skinner, and Adkins, as UMass Boston has mixed and matched all but their top line here in the third period. I don't think we've really seen much of Sam McCoy in any way. It's controlled here by Anna Maria with 5 minutes exactly to go in regulation. They gained the zone, but a good break up by Helt. Now it's Barrett who will push it across for Adkins and just out of the reach of Skinner. Fowler back into his own zone to retrieve. And it's broken up. Clifton tries to feed it there for Skinner. Broken up once again. Helt barrels his way through for Peters. Peters working one-on-one against Fowler, waiting for reinforcements as the Beacons get a couple new skaters out there. Peters still with it. Peters off for Duncan. Duncan avoids any kind of harm up top. It's Barrett who keeps it in. Deflection from Peters just wide. Adkins hits the side of the cage. Rather, Walker, not Adkins. But a great look there. Now it's Duncan. Duncan centers it across. Great job by Helt coming forward, and Least denies the easy break at us. We'll get an offensive zone draw on the good work from Evan Helt.
Tremendous shift, and just what the doctor ordered if you're the Beacons, right? You needed some offensive possession time. Now it's important for this next shift to follow that up, right? And the last thing you want to do is give that all. You've got momentum now, give it all right back. This is an opportunity here for these Beacons forwards to really work this clock. This is an important draw. Got to try to keep this in the offensive zone.
Walker wins it against Sierra Ledoux, trying to get a shot off there and maybe doing a bit too much with Nicken, although he's able to win it back. Walker right back for Nicken, tries to toe drag around the defender, loses the puck. Petruzzello looks at his option, is just content to cycle that one around. Slowed down by Huset. Nicken bodies a player off it, centers it. That one goes off the shoulder of Walker. Under 4 minutes to play. Walker pinned along the boards by Taylor, and Anna Maria will chip it out to center ice. UMass Boston has led for most of this game. They've certainly dominated the first and parts of the second. Now we've got a whistle, and I think we've got too many men.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Do they get off in time? Let's take a look.
I think the linesman is not signaling 6, but 7.
We're going to see. They're going to have a conference about it here. I don't know if the Beacons got off in time.
It wasn't like the puck came over towards the bench. It might have just been a really bad change, and it's going to be the 4th penalty of the game against the Beacons, the 3rd of the period. And this one is especially inexcusable because you have all 4 of the Beacons coaches on the bench for the 3rd period. That just can't happen.
It's lack of communication. It's all it comes down to. Anybody who's played hockey knows you know the person you're coming on and off the ice for. And especially, like you said, with 4 coaches, it's reinforced. They're going to tell you exactly who you're taking. To have some sort of miscommunication there is really quite inexcusable at this stage of the hockey game. 3 minutes left, and you just gave Anna Maria some life. I mean, before this, it looked like the Beacons were going to be able to work this clock. You take the time out here, you try to reset. But this one has all the makings of a little bit of a comeback here from Anna Maria. This is everything they could have wanted at this stage of the hockey game. A 2-minute power play here with 3 to play. You know, on the road, we've kept it close all night. Our goaltenders held in it. It's a big moment. This is the hockey game. That goes without saying. But what a mental mistake there from the Beacons.
3:33 to go. The Beacons' 3rd penalty of the period. Their 4th of the night. Thus far, 3 for 3 on the PK. Julius Huset's done a great job of keeping them in it. Now can the offense pick them up? 1 goal last night, 1 goal tonight, looking to get the offense going. They averaged 2.5 a game. It will, after the Beacons timeout, it's got to be, and it will be, the top unit. Cyr-Ledoux, Pro, Pageant, Sitzman, and Manning.
Lose it clean there, coming out of a timeout. That's bad. Nice save.
Shoulder save from McNanama, able to deny Sitzman. It's Bankowskis, Adkins, DeLucio, and Krupinski. I think it's Bordeaux who's going to serve the 2-minute minor for too many men. Cyr-Ledoux, another offside.
Wow, that's a late offside.
Anna Maria can't believe it. I think it's the third time today they've been called for offside on a power play.
Yeah, I would agree. Having trouble with that zone entry. They had a chance, too. That's a tough offsides. They really had a chance there on that rush.
Atkins versus Cyr-Ledoux. He's able to win it again. This time it's outside the zone, though. They'll just whip it in. Cycles all the way around. DeLuzio battling Pro. Pro gets help, and Bankowskis comes away with it. Bankowskis wants to skate. Bankowskis through one, leaves it up. Atkins shoots, and that's a chest save. Bankowskis saw the rebound, and the whistle blew early, and I mean real early.
Well, yeah, he lost sight of it, but, I mean, can this guy skate? Bankowskis goes right around the D, and what a pass to find, was it Nitkin in front?
It was Atkins.
It was Atkins in front to find him, put it right on the tape. And just, again, Huset right there, makes the save, and then got the quick whistle. But a great play shorthanded there by Bankowskis. I'd give him a quick rest and get him right back out on the ice. He's been the best penalty killer by far tonight.
Carabelli and Duncan is the new pairing of forwards. They'll go with Helt and Bogan as the defensemen. Still a minute 15 to go on the too many men minor on the Beacons. As finally, the MCats are able to dump it in. Now trying to get set up. 3 Beacons in there battling for it. Duncan will just be content to hold the puck along the boards. Under a minute to go on the man advantage. 2:30 to go in regulation. You could think about pulling the goalie at this point, Matt. Try to get a 6-on-4, but instead David McCauley is going to be content to wait as the shot from distance is easily saved off the stick of Toby.
Yeah, you make a great point. Now that the question being is, do you think with 2 minutes left that I can save pulling my goalie and keep the 5-on-4 right continuously, right? So I take the 5-on-4 now, and then I let that expire and then take my goaltender. But I agree with you. I think I've seen players or coaches rather take their goaltender to go with the extra skater earlier than that. So.
Bankowskis right back out there and wins the draw against Columby. It's cleared, and it's Atkins who returns with him, putting the pressure on Manning. Atkins does a good job to potentially break it up, and now uses that long stick. It's played by Huset, bounces around, and it's still loose. Great job by a power play player. That was Manning to break up a potential shorthanded chance. Both Bankowskis and Atkins were buzzing around the puck. Down to 15 to go on the man advantage. Huset still in his net. Pass into the slot, and the shot skitters wide. A good look. Bankowskis' clearance goes off a Beacon, and it'll stay in. Moulin with the shot from distance all the way through. 2-1, and we're back to even strength.
Get him
shot
out of the
gets
box.
knocked down.
Oh, he
and
missed
unable
him.
to find it is Krupinski as the Beacons had Boudreau leaking out. 1:25 to go. Huset still hasn't gone anywhere. And here comes Moran. Moran has a player backside, finds him, shot, and it's another save. Bankowskis has been robbed 3 times in the period. Centers it for Barrett, who couldn't quite handle the pass. 70 seconds to go. Barrett will take the slot backside, shoots and scores! It's Ethan Nicken, and the Beacons finally have a 2-goal lead.
Oh, what a play. Oh, what a play by Barrett. What composure. And most players would have just rifled that thing, knowing the situation, just get it on net. But instead takes the extra step and finds Nitkin backdoor for the one-timer. Tremendous. And that'll seal it for the Beacons, but what a play. To lock this thing down and take that extra step. Barrett with the composure to find his teammate backdoor.
It's not a fair comparison to be called like Nick Albano with how good Nick Albano was, but you see similar vision and similar passing ability from a player like Nolan Barrett.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's something, especially from a D-man, you would just expect just blasted on net, right? And to have that extra step and that awareness to make the play and find backdoor, you just lock the win for your team doing that. Tremendous play.
And for a guy like Ethan Nicken, who has had so many chances in this game, it's got to feel great to get that goal as Peters rips one into the netting and out. Nickens had quite a few chances today. He's taken a couple of huge hits and he's been slow to get over to the bench.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah, not his best tonight. Wonder if he's dealing with an injury. We've seen him, play a little bit better. I've seen a little bit more jump in his game, and obviously if there's an injury, that could be a factor. But nice for him to get that goal and to battle through and find a way to contribute to this hockey game nevertheless.
Amcats had a player leaking out. That's Sitzman. Sitzman has Cyr Ledoux heading towards the net. Instead, it's Evan Helt with another big breakup.
He's hurt now. Oh, boy.
McNanama will just not cover that one up. Wants the clock to continue to run with 30 as Helt will use the boards to get over. The goalie still in his net. Husid as David McCauley not going to ever pull his goalie in this one. Petrozella over for Nickett, who just scored that third goal. Sitzman will try to dump it in. Walker denies him, pushes it ahead for Nickett. It's under 10 seconds to go. This game is all but over as one last chance for the Amcats, and that will do it. A goal with just about a minute to go. Nolan Barrett, excellent vision to find Ethan Nicken backdoor, and the Beacons take this one 3-1 in their first ever Hockey Fights Cancer game. Matt, I wouldn't be surprised if the Beacons see Anna Maria back on their schedule going forward. This was a much tighter game than I think you or I anticipated going in.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, right? It's a brand new program, and you're kind of waiting to see. You're looking at the roster, and you're not really familiar with anything. I really thought this was a great hockey game. And this is tight. You would have thought this was a conference battle. This was tight from start to finish all the way through. Really liked what I saw from Anna Maria defensively. I mean, the goaltender, what more could be said? Played strong throughout this period, game tonight, but I really thought in the third period held it down and kept his team in it as long as he possibly could to give them a fighting chance. Anna Maria can't ask for much more than that. They had an opportunity where down one with a power play with 3 minutes to go, they weren't able to capitalize. This was a tight hockey game, and I really think, as you said, we'll be able to see both these teams face off again, hopefully in the future.
And while the game is over, Hockey Fights Cancer festivities are not. We're about to see a photo taken with a special banner that was made up where you could kind of sign the names of people that personally are in your life who have been affected by cancer. They're also asking fans to stick around. They made up some Hockey Fights Cancer posters that people could sign. You've seen it at Major League Baseball All-Star Game, all kinds of different big games, but trying to include the fans in this is Jake Adkins, who's one of the organizers of the event, is indicating to the players of both teams what he wants them to do. The banner should be out shortly. And it's just cool to see, again, we talk about the Men in Blades. Their big goal was for it not to just be one event. Adkins is going to be front and center in a photo that we're not going to give you a very good angle of, but we'll have on beaconsathletics.com later on today.
Yeah, you get the background of it. Oh, they're trusting Coach Blyle with the photo?
Yeah, well, I think Dave Wahlberg, our SID, is going to be.
I was going to say that's a tall task for Coach there. But, yeah, no, in a great hockey game, and that deserves, right, with the cause and the special jerseys tonight for the Beacons and, everything they've done, like you said, with the Men in Blades. It deserved to be a game like this, a tight battle. The physical parts were there. There were some back and forth moments of this game, and Beacons ended up walking out of here with a win, but could have easily gone the other way. Really
absolutely.
Could. It was a tight game, and I thought Anna Maria has a lot to build off of. This is a program that's very close to being very competitive, and any conference that adds them is going to be very fortunate.
The good news is if the Beacons do see them in future, Julius Husit probably won't be back. He is a senior now.
Right.
Everybody gets an extra year of eligibility. He could come back for a fifth season, but Husit was phenomenal in this one. We'll bring you the final stats, the stars, and all of that after a commercial break. So let's take a couple minutes. We'll also have an interview with head coach Peter Belisle and a player, but certainly a good result for UMass Boston as they pick up their second consecutive win, move to 3-0 here at home at the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink.
UMass Boston is founded on a notion of impact. The Center for Peace, Democracy, and Development is a place where faculty and students can take a lot of the concepts and ideas that we are teaching in the classroom and take them into the field and actually make a difference. Beyond our work in Boston, we have projects in Nigeria, Israel, Palestine, Northern Ireland, South Africa, Ecuador, Colombia. Through our work in the field with a lot of important actors like the U.S. State Department, with the U.S. Agency for International Development, with the United Nations, I think we've gained a reputation as a place that can help a lot of these actors solve their problems and can get things done, and also that have a student body that they want to hire when they finish working with us. Nigeria may seem, it is, a world away from Boston, but many of the things that I've learned in dealing with Muslim-Christian peace efforts is tremendously relevant for situations here in Boston and other parts of the United States. Dealing with issues between police and youth or in immigrant communities, and that's a lot of what we do. Creating networks of relationships where people can work out their problems and can find better solutions than the ones that violence offers. Because in the end, we're all in this together. We only thrive when we work on these sorts of solutions to our problems together.
My name is Kirsten Morrison, aka Keek. I'm a senior here at UMass. I'm in the Exercise Health Sciences program, and I play volleyball, basketball, and softball. You know, I came here for volleyball, and I chose between basketball and softball, and I went with basketball my freshman year to play, and it's always kind of been a thing that I wanted to do is play softball my senior year. And after talking with Coach Dagg, she was like, yeah, come on the team, and I was like, all right, and here I am playing 3 sports this year. Being a beacon, I don't even know if words can describe. You know, coming here as a freshman, I was a little nervous and scared, but you know, I walked in these doors and they all had open arms. You know, they showed me the ropes. You know, the coaching staff, the athletic staff, the chancellor, the vice chancellors, everyone here is so welcoming, and I really can't stress enough about how much this is really a second family for me here at UMass. I'm at my 1,000 points this year. It's amazing. I don't even think words can describe how I feel about it. It's something I've always wanted to do my whole life, and doing it here with my teammates and the coaching staff here is just an unbelievable experience, and I'm so happy to be able to do that. I'm doing my internship this summer at the Quincy YMCA, and I really hope to be coaching in my future.
It's hard not to get emotional at a UMass graduation. It is amazing to see what UMass graduates accomplish once they leave the university. You see that UMass is here for the Commonwealth, here for a reason.
I'm Elizabeth Clavin, sophomore business management major from Edina, Minnesota. I love being a part of this volleyball team. Volleyball is what brought me to UMass Boston. I looked at our website one last time and saw UMass Boston on it, came out for a visit the next week, and it kind of hit all the boxes. Like good city, good academic school, good volleyball program. It had everything I wanted. Although it was far away from home, I knew this is where I wanted to be. Winning 6 back-to-back LEC titles is really a dynasty, I think, and Terry has really focused hard on recruiting and building this dynasty and continuing to build a program that can continue to win championships, and it's really lucky to be a part of something this great. Last year I was the Little East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, All-Conference second team, NCAA Regional MVP of the regional tournament, ABC All-Region Honorable Mention, and New England Women's Volleyball Association All-Rookie Team and Honorable Mention. I think my favorite game would have to be playing in the regional championship last year. We played against a really good Williams team, and I think that match, we started off a little shaky and lost the first set. We've lost in the whole playoff season, and I think that kind of shook us a little bit. We came back firing, and we're ready to go those next couple games. Our coaches are bringing in a lot of really strong girls who want to make a commitment and make an impact in this program, and I think that is why we're continuing to do well and will continue to do well for the next few years. Being a student here has been really awesome as well. I've recently started taking more of my business classes and found that's a good choice and a good fit for me. And eventually I hope to open my own business and kind of be successful and do what I love at the end of the day.
Hello.
And welcome back to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. The Beacons 3-1 winners, thanks to a late goal in that one from Ethan Nicken. 18:54, 106 to go in regulation. Nolan Barrett with the assist. Let's show you the final statistics. Matt, 52-23, but the third period was the closest by far. The Beacons out shooting Anna Maria but by just 13. Now they do win 43 out of 70 faceoffs. Honestly, the PK might have been the difference in this game.
Certainly was.
Anna Maria 0 for 4, the Beacons 1 for 2, and the Beacons had almost as many chances on their PK as Anna Maria did on their power play.
Yeah, and the goaltender, Husit, I think without him, this is not a close hockey game. But everything you said, yeah, the penalty kill was the difference, especially in that third period. And that game should have probably easily been tied by Anna Maria. They had all the momentum going their way. We got Coach Blau coming over here now, so he might validate what I have to say. But I agree with you. I think the penalty kill was, particularly in that third period, the difference of why this game was 3-1 versus us still broadcasting in overtime.
Well, a quick look at the scoring summary as we wait on Peter Belial, who will be with us in momentarily. Corey Clifton opened the scoring at 15:51 of the first period. Patrick Manning tied the game 101 into the second. Chris Peters, a power play goal, 6:07 into the second, gave the Beacons the lead. Told you there'd be 1 or 2 goals.
You did.
I was lucky. The
there.
Beacons got a late one. Ethan Nicken at 18:54 from Nolan Barrett, a beautiful goal. Right now, we're going to take a 30-second commercial break, and we'll be back with head coach Peter Belial and then our number 1 star right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts
Joined by
Boston.
UMass Boston head coach Peter Belial. Coach, first ever matchup with the AmCats, and they gave you a great game. What was kind of your reaction as that third period went along? They were putting the pressure on, and your penalty kill, along with Connor McNanama, kind of seemed to rise to the occasion after you made some mistakes that you certainly don't want to make in the third period of a one-goal hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they wanted to do. And I know Dave McCauley's team's a hard team to play against, and those kids played hard. For a relatively new program, they gave us everything we could handle today. I thought in the third period we played a little bit better. Connor had to play very well, in a game like that when you don't see much and then you see some flurries. He played outstanding, especially in the third to lock it down because it was essentially a one-goal game, that whole game. And then Barrett made a heck of a play in the back door there to free up Nitkin, so it gave us a little relief. But it was a nail-biter. So I think it was a hard-fought win today, so we're happy we got out of here with the W.
Special teams have been a strength for this team all season long. You guys are chugging along very well in the power play, but today those 4 PKs, and honestly with the way that Coley Bankowskis plays, it seems like every time you get a PK, you might get a little shorthanded option. How big was that to get the 4 PKs, but also to be having a really solid season on the PK after you guys struggled early on back in 2019-20?
Yeah, it's funny. Our coaching staff were like, geez, we're playing better on the PK than we are. We had more effort, like almost more chances on the penalty kill, so we kind of addressed that on the bench. Like, guys, come on, let's not play casual 5-on-5. You're playing so well on the PK, so taking that mentality over to our 5-on-5 play was something we were trying to do.
Coach, Hockey Fights Cancer Game, it's the first time you guys have hosted one of these games. The Men in Blades have been so big in terms of raising money for the American Cancer Society. What did it mean to kind of host a game like this, have a nice crowd, and eventually come away with the W?
I mean, so proud of those 2 boys. I mean, those 2 men. Unbelievable. Atkins and Walker, what they did last year, and then what they continue to do. Let's not forget they had an event canceled on them. They had a big event canceled in the spring. It was in Quincy. That got canceled. So to get today's event off the ground for them, just so proud of them. They make me look very good all the time. So can't thank them enough.
One last question. You've got a fluky schedule where you didn't play yesterday, but now you play Tuesday. Only going to get the 1 practice in between, and we saw you really shifting up the lines in the third period. What's going to be the emphasis going into Tuesday's game against the Plymouth State team that's receiving votes and has been typically one of the stronger sides in the MASCAC.
Yeah, which we just talked about that too. They're one of the best teams in the MASCAC, so we got a tall challenge on Tuesday. It just worked out that way. They go into exams, and so we needed a Tuesday night game to kind of break it off before exams. So, it's a quick turnaround, and yeah, we felt like we had to mix something up in the third and just juggling some things up. I thought the Moran played very well today. I bumped him up, tried to give him some more ice in the third. He had a really nice chance to the net. That was his first game back in some time, so that was really promising to see. So, yeah, we got our work cut out for us on Tuesday.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. We look forward to Tuesday's game. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with an interview with our #1 star.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so.
We're here with Corey Clifton, our player of the game tonight. Corey, a good win here at home, and we were talking a little bit off air. What's the transition been like moving from Division I Quinnipiac to Division III UMass Boston?
It's still great hockey, and biggest thing for me has just been getting used to playing with a whole new group of guys. Obviously, getting to know everyone. It's really important in a team setting. So, all the guys on the team have been really, really great to me. It's been a really smooth transition, and I'm really close with everyone on the team.
I'm sure we're happy to have you. We noticed on the goal, it seemed like a theme tonight, the quick release. As soon as you were getting the puck, you were firing it right on net. Walk us through what you saw in the first goal there tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Coach always reiterates quick release and just getting the puck on net. We needed shots tonight. Pete's made a good play right there. Called for the puck in the middle and just had enough time to get it off, and luckily it went in.
Just like Timmy Sr. you taught you. And then coming up, we've got Plymouth State here on Tuesday at home right before we go into the Christmas break. How do you guys prepare for that weird Tuesday game? Usually Friday, Saturday is more the tendency. How do you guys prepare for that quick turnaround?
Yeah, it's just another game for us, and we're in really good shape. Coach does a really good job in getting us ready. So for us, it's just preparing like you would for a Friday, Saturday game. Nothing different about it. Just got to be in that mindset that you're playing tonight, and you got to be ready to go.
Well, keep making Jersey hockey proud, Corey, and we'll be hopefully having you up here in the booth more as the season goes along.
Definitely, thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon. Back after this.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships, just being involved on.
That was Corey Clifton, who scored his second goal as a Beacon and had his first assist, our #1 star. Quickly, let's show you all three of our stars. We talked enough about him. Julius Husit was an easy pick, easily could have been the #1 pick, but we weren't interviewing him either way. As, of course, we lose our graphics. Our third star was Chris Peters. I think that we can cover you with our knowledge. Plymouth State on Tuesday, going to be an interesting matchup, typically one of the stronger sides in the MASCAC. Then the Codfish Bowl on the 29th and 30th. Matt, this wasn't the best Beacons performance. It was gritty. It was good enough to get the win. Again, I'm going to ask you, how big is it to get 3 more W's heading into the new year, heading back into conference play for a team that, it's weird to say, but they're still very young.
Yeah, no, and still figuring it out. You heard Corey talk about it, right? Still figuring out how guys like it to play with and who you kind of mesh well with. And yeah, for me, I think you're going to have wins like this in a season. It's not like you're going to walk in, to your home rink every night and just, go through everything and get the W. You're going to have to grind them out. And Beacon's found a way to win. At the end of the day, that's what's most important. They got the W. Got to repeat a little bit better performance against Plymouth State on Tuesday, and then reset. Go home, see the family, enjoy the holidays, enjoy Christmas, get back and get ready for the Codfish Bowl, which is, again, pretty quick turnaround some days after.
And also rest up, because the Beacons have a number of players who aren't available right now due to injury. So it'll be good to get the entire group back, hopefully healthy, over the break. Finally, a shout-out to our production crew doing a great job on this Saturday afternoon. Let me see if I can remember all of our names. Amongst our directors today, Mary Jo Murphy, Gina Albano, Hilly Rodriguez, Nick Suma, and Jackson Snyder. Our camera operators, Lauren Bethea, alongside Sage Shorey, with a couple other names mixed in and out. For Matt Meisenbacher, my partner, my name is Seth Dorensky. Thanks so much for watching.